Renars podcast.
It's like a little intro music what we have in the beginning, so we show like, do you have moves?
Do I have moves?
Do you have moves? Do you have little moves?
Boom, 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 boom.
Okay, jokes aside. So we have today, our guest is Uldis Udris, who I know for many, many years now, and I met a long time ago. So he's a therapist, and specifically his direction, but speciality is the thermal therapy, right?
Exactly.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
Very good, thank you. Good. Awesome, great to be here. Exactly. So amazing. I very excited.
I was looking
forward to. Yeah, and this is my first podcast.
Hey,
love it.
Nice. We're gonna pop your cherry in a podcast. Yay! Wait, pop your cherry. Exactly.
Yes.
So, this is right now. He's here with his wife in Bali. And you're leaving actually tomorrow, so it was really evening. Cool that I managed to organize this with you, and you said yes, and let's do this. I would say straight away gonna go with the concept of, so you moved away from Latvia 13 years ago.
2012.
Yeah, and now you in Norway for 13 years, right? And like anyone who's following your social media on Instagram, and like obviously people who live around you, you're probably like this known person who just loves to freeze his balls off in cold water. So it's all about the water therapy and then sauna stuff. Like, how about we just talk about that?
We go directly into the core.
Straight to that. Yeah.
All right.
And then we can talk about all the other stuff. You used to be a wushu competitor and did also crazy stuff in calisthenics. There's a lot of shit we can talk about.
Yeah. So let's start with the main thing, right?
Yeah. So the thermotherapy, and now that's such a buzz thing. Like everyone do the cold baths and all of the cold water procedures. Obviously, there's Wim Hof with his stuff. Like the world knows about it much more. And the truth is, like, we both are from Latvia, so we grew up in Latvia, which is considered to be Eastern Europe, and Eastern Europe is very familiar for many years about there's a saunas. We jump in a cold waters, cold
100%.
snows. Exactly. So, and okay, let's go from beginning. How and why did you kind of decided to get this direction?
We can separate this life before trauma, and life after trauma.
So then, when trauma happened, and which we discussed about, like you broke your back, and so then a lot of things changed, basically, right?
It was a turning point.
Yeah.
So that was the wake up call, I should say. So you're in such a deep shit, such a deep pain, 24/7. And going all over the place looking for help, right? So, and there was many opinions, and actually very polar opposite opinions, and what you should do, what not. And I'm going all that way through, and time just passes by, and I'm still in a deep pain. And what do? You're looking for help and things you can do by yourself.
Like solutions,
Solutions, yeah. So how the first thing I was looking for some kind of relief. It was not like a fixed whole problem, right? So I knew that it's something deeper than some kind of catching the cold.
Yeah, did morphine happen? Helped?
I was very much close to that. So for use to chronic morphine, but I was not taking it. Although I took a lot on other things and a lot, right? So. Right. Starting from some painkillers, light form and a bit heavier, and antidepressants because you'll in a long journey.
Right.
So, but nothing helped so much. So I was suppressing things.
Let's just go chronologically. So you and your wife and your two daughters, you moved to Norway 13 years ago. So then you broke your back in Norway.
No, that was in Latvia. I really had that injury in Latvia.
So how many years ago?
But I had one daughter. Yeah, that was before. 2012, we moved to Norway, and it was kind of a 2 year prior to that.
Right.
So 2010-ish. And there was a lot of issue starting from point like breaking the spine, and then all the things with the money, like work-wise and stuff.
Also some challenges.
My ability to function started to decrease a lot.
Right.
So I was not a normal human being. So things we take most of the times for granted I was not able to do.
Right.
So, and in such a huge chaos, we decided like really we need to move out from it, because there was also some social problems and stuff like that. So I was a mess. physically, emotionally, like all other areas.
I think, you know what, how about we do actually start from the very beginning, because otherwise we need to go back to it. So you're now 42 years old.
Exactly.
You were born in Riga, actually, just like I was born in Riga, which is the capital of Latvia. And then, with your family, you grew up in which city in Latvia?
That's also, that is Riga. Yeah, we all come from Riga. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah. So
right. And then in Riga, then as a kid, you were active physically. You did sports all your life since we were like young age.
I was active, but I was never like kind of a sports guy and naturally built for like endurance.
Show your biceps.
So not so much. So
he's never.
Yeah, maybe need to
never
improve in
sports
some
guy.
areas.
Yeah.
So, but I was very much because of that. I was not very strong. I was seeing that other guys not doing so much, but they are better than me, bigger than me, faster than me, and I was looking how. In the beginning, I was like kind of weak in mind. Oh shit, never gonna happen for me because I tried something and it's not coming. But then I somehow started to do things and chronologically. Right. So
yeah, and that really popular, famous photo, which I also showed yesterday to you, that was where you're super skinny and stuff. So I'm gonna put it here so everyone can see it, how you look like. How old you were then?
17, something like
17.
that. 17. Yeah, it's like after concentration camp.
Yeah, the concentration camp, or like a junkie, or like really mild nutrition person. Like, what was the reason why you were like that?
That was like kind of my naturally built body, and because of different kind of I should say environmental stimulation, right? So not appropriate food, activity, or exhausted and not doing the right things. Okay. So my body was very low to endure and to be resilient against the stress. So my body straight away goes and shrinks and goes low.
So, and then I know you're always known as like a super sporty, very strong dude.
Yeah.
So that means that till 17, do you think there was an issue with not doing sports, not being active, or there was like nutritional issues? Like what do you think was it?
Yeah, I was active. I was doing like a dancing, some traditional dancing. I was playing a football. I was willing to go out and do stuff. But my body, like genetically, was kind of a weaker, right? So I was not building up muscle easily. I was kind of late in
late
puberty.
bloomer. Late bloomer. Yeah, that's what they call them. So
skinny guy. Basically, and not so strong. I was not able to do some pull-ups and push-ups. I was like very frustrated for that. And
so when did you get introduced with wushu? And so also for those who are listening, in wushu you were competing in high level. You were
national,
national level. So how many years you actually did wushu?
10, maybe more. Yeah.
And then you started around 17?
Yeah, that's exactly that time. So I even started then that point and before that. So looking into that, all the Jackie Chan stuff and Jet Li, like, idols, right? So, and then I was looking for where to go, how to develop this, right? Going into that, where I was not seeing actually what I want to see. I was going also inside as a very shy guy and I'm a very, this is not mine kind of, but I want it.
Right.
But I was very scared. Like you go into there and they're all guys like already built up and they're like sparring and doing other type of forms and no, I was running away very fast. So my mental was not there yet. So I was not in making decision. Now I'm going through that hard stuff and building up what's necessary.
Right.
Yeah.
So then you're 17. That means one of the last couple of years in high school, right? 17, 18. So you graduated high school, and then did you went to Sport Academy straight away?
Straight away. Yeah. So
and then
that was the decision. And that skinny little guy, and I made a decision. I have to go in, and I didn't have the money because I had just mom. My dad left me before I was 10. So
sorry to hear that.
So it is what it is. So that also was stimulation for growth. I need to be a better father and so on. But anyway, so. I decided I want to go into sports, where to grow better and be stronger, right? So Sports Academy.
Yeah.
So, but there are some things you have to pass to go in. Requirements. Yeah. So, and there were 2 days. So physical, there was tests, and theory. But I was preparing for it. Really training like months and months, like all summer and before that, listening to things and really preparing myself.
Right.
And the scariest was I needed to get into the budget. So the government pay for that.
Yeah. So it's like we call it get in the budget.
Yeah.
But it's basically scholarship.
Yeah.
So we're getting a scholarship, and then you don't have to pay for the studies. And funny enough, like it was so cheap, anyways.
Yeah, but
for those days, it was obviously expensive.
I did not have the money, so that was all in. Yeah, you go through 100% or not, and then I had no other options. I didn't know what to do.
Oh wow!
So where to go and no money. So so I basically that's it.
Wow.
And
Sports Academy is like how many years the program is? 4 years?
We had 5.
5 years.
We had that time there was 5.
Right.
Yeah,
is
now
it just a bachelor? Is it considered to be a bachelor degree or not really?
It is. Yeah. Okay. So and then you can go and have more. You can have layers to that.
And as I asked you earlier, so there are different majors you can choose or different like
different directions,
qualifications.
Yes.
Yeah. So which one did you choose? And can you list me some of the other ones? What are the other options?
So I was like a sports teacher that comes in a main package, right? Mm-hmm. So you can go and work as that. But I choose the massage therapy. Mm-hmm. So like a therapist, I was very interested in a human physiology, human body. That was my direction. So I started to investigate and already into that, but not in a depth after the trauma. That was that. When I started, there's more to it.
So do you think one of the reasons why you were is so interested in like human body and all that is like because your body was skinny and you couldn't
Maybe at that time is more like a visual stuff, that simple like teenager stuff, right? So, but then I was looking under the skin and seeing more. There's more to explore. And then I was step by step, just with the curiosity and self-practice, what I can do, how I can change, and then interested to helping others. Because that was like, okay, if I can do something and change something I was not very happy about give someone that is experiencing kind of the same and make a change, man, that was for me candy. So
because also in those days, the fitness, and especially in Latvia, wasn't such a big thing as it is now around the world. Yeah. The fitness in the sense of the fitness models, get all the sponsors, get all that exposure. No. That was not a thing. So back in the days also, we represented a country where it wasn't really much about muscles and stuff. Guys could be, it's great that you can beat someone up or whatever, but there was nothing about aesthetics, right? Yeah. It wasn't like, I have abs.
That was after. Yeah, but for me, I was like too short, too weak, and I was like a mental state was there, right? So I was comparing kind of myself with others, and I I didn't know what it is. I just wanted to grow and be better. Right.
So as much as I could remember, it was like you were working like some kind of office jobs or something after. So tell me about after you graduated, you were what was the thought process there?
Yeah, because you need the money. You need it straight away. And even when I was studying, I was already working. So I was looking for most of the people are doing that. So if you don't have a family that supports you all the way. So I was going different kind of jobs, working day and night. So
anything? What kind of jobs?
Anything. So you can. I was like in security for a while. So sitting nights and
Was that like a specific a dwarf or midget security?
It was the properties and stuff like that,
I mean, little people security. Come on, man.
You get me? Oh, damn.
Little people
Renars?
Security.
Okay, yeah.
And also I have to I'm going to be cutting out those words before. I'm not allowed to say those words anymore. Now you can just refer to little people. You can't say someone who's suffering from dwarfism. You cannot,
maybe they're taking personal.
So you did security. You did what other jobs did you do?
I was working in restaurants.
Like a waiter, just anything you could
service,
get.
Anything I could get.
So, but then after you graduated, so now you have a diploma in your pocket.
Yeah.
What did you?
Then also, I was looking where's the money. More,
so you were more focused the cash.
I need it. And I besides of that, I was training people in a wushu because that was area already in a good level, competing and having good results. And we opened a wushu school in Riga.
All right.
So we had groups and we were traveling around.
Is that school still?
No, it is not. So I left the country. It was still a little bit. It's like momentum, and then it just go.
Gotcha. Yeah. And wushu, is such a beautiful sport. I did Kung Fu for 2 years, and they're quite similar. And I remember like I did compete actually at one competition. I got two first places in hand form, like just no weapons. And then also with the stick, just the bow stuff. And I was so surprised because I thought there was other guys who had like more complex and more interesting like these weapons, and I just had the stick one. But my shifu afterwards, like, how do you say it? Shifu or sifu? Shifu. Yeah. So he afterwards say like, "Oh, Renars, you did it very powerful. Like it was very like convincing." So the judges liked it.
And emotions are very important there.
Yeah. The funny thing was like that. I got the first medal. And then I went outside, all excited, whatever. And this one dude was smoking weed. And I asked him if I could smoke some weed. And I smoked some weed. And then I thought, like, I'm not getting anything. And then, like, all high sitting there. And then they're like, and Renars for the first place for the weapons. I was like, what? I just jumped on.
What an experience.
So happy. But yeah, like, I mean, it's a crazy, I want to call it like a dance with the crazy athletical, gymnastic-y stuff and martial arts. There's such a combination.
It's a combination,
it's beautiful,
of many. And there is, again, a lot of directions you can go. You can go traditional way. You can go sports directions. I was in a sports, and and eventually I was growing older and then looking into traditional because I wanted to do that mental stuff, that emotional, more gaining some kind of internal control inside of me, right? So that was it. So
how did you figure it out, or what? When you started it, I'm pretty sure you started because it looked cool.
It was combination.
Movies,
yes, I was very impressed.
When do you think it became like, oh, there's more than that? There's a spiritual side of it. There's a more about like a soul and body, like and mind control of those things. When do you think that became? Did you go to some competitions and you saw someone?
Exactly, and so that was again kind of in a process. And you're starting in your local area, you know, in your gym with your coach, Sifu, and you're seeing those guys that training with you, and that's okay, that's nice, but that's more outside of you, external, right? So how does it looks like? But then I was starting to compete nationally, internationally. So there you see other guys, there you see some different level, right? So you thought one thing, you have expectancy in one thing, but there you can see something else. And when you travel around and you see those people and emotions and stuff like that, and someone comes to you and says something.
I was competing karate like nationally. Also, funny enough, I started when I was 16 as well. So you were 17, I was 16. So quite late. But in 2 years, I was already representing Latvia in Europe, and I was like in Latvian team. National team, but listen, to become a national team in Latvia is not a fucking big achievement. You know, just so you guys know.
No. So for me, the same. Yeah, sorry to interrupt.
No, it's fine. But then, so karate at the beginning, it was all like thinking just. The reason I started karate because this one kid punched me in the face and knocked my tooth out, and I was like, "That's it, I'm going karate." No, karate just came to our town and was like, "Okay, I need to go karate."
But I actually felt so weak that I was scared to get into that kind of fight, even to that point to get some fight, right? Really? So like, oh no, I will be prepared when the fight will appear, you know. Right? So that
I'm ready.
Almost like that.
Enter the dragon's lair. So then you realize, okay, there's more than that. And I'm just curious about that point again. So how long did you just work like money? And then you got also married very, very young. So you've been with your wife. So your daughter is 15 years old, the oldest one. So how long?
So we are married 2009.
2009. So that is 15.
And then 2012 we left like a country. So that's not so much. And our first daughter in 2010. So she's gonna be 15 in April.
So you guys got married quite quick.
Quite quick. Came together very young. Very, very happy, you know, and
that's awesome.
We were just like this. There was no turning back.
Right, and then so you were after graduating uni. How many years you were just like doing jobs, whatever, and then something's changed?
2006, I was finished with the Academy of Sports. I was still doing competition. I was training people, working different kind of jobs, and then I switched over to my own company, like looking for construction and doing stuff. You know,
that's what I remember. You were like a corporate, little bit wearing the
more
tie
in
and
office and stuff like that. And there was a group of people. You know, I was not alone, but that turned out very not so good. So we broke up. There was nothing, and we bankrupt. So that also was like a kick for me that hey, this is too much.
Which year was that? What year was that? Was it 8 or 9?
Something around that, 8, 9, 10.
Well, because there was a crisis, there was economy crisis.
It was actually
the bubble blew up. Just
but
then.
that was 2008. That was like boom.
Yeah.
But I was doing pretty well at that time. But for me, 9, 10, when we married. So and that year was like going the money wise. So yeah, and that was also in together all that trauma came, right? So I was dealing with that because that. It was so severe and was progressing so fast.
Tell me, how did you get it?
Yeah.
Trauma.
So the first, I can say that it was very stupid. You know, I was having a high stress, chronic stress from different directions. So, and I was very tired at that day. I remember that day when I injured myself. I was very tired, and I was thinking, should I do this or not? And I was lifting some weights, and I was building up for some deadlifts. And what was the way? I really don't recall. But it was over 150 for that guy. It was kind of okay, not much. But I was so tired. So, and I did for a few reps, and I felt some very sharp pain in my upper thoracic, and it was immediate. Like, and I collapsed on the floor, and I could not breathe. So. And it's shooting in right in my ribs and everything.
And deadlifts, that's the one on the back.
No, deadlifting from floor.
From floor.
So
I never would lift weights.
Yeah. So
you just
me too at that time. I was like, that's why.
So that's where you squat and then you pull up.
So you pull up from a floor. Right. Yeah.
And that's when you got that pain.
That's where I got that friction or like the first break, right? So in my upper thoracic, like a middle back and upper, higher to the neck or cervical. And there was consequences, and I was not very smart how to deal with it. I was thought, okay. So because it eventually just gave me a relief, and but I was going for doctors because I could not sleep, could not think normally. I was like really messed up, and I could not breathe very well. So I was going like spirally down pretty fast. And the doctors, they did some very simple X-rays and stuff like that. They said, you have like this and this vertebrae is like, right? Fractured, yeah. And I immediately understood that, damn, this is something serious, right? So I need to take a rest and find the solutions. But there was not a good specialist around me, and they didn't took immediate like a proper steps to improve, because in my case it made such a difference in my curvature in my spine and pressure on the nerves and that eventually change the way my biomechanics goes in the body. And when the curvature change, all other areas are inflicted. So you have changes in there too. So the next one, I had some layers, to that. So next one was a small injury in the neck, in the cervical, in the lower part of the neck. And I felt like I was still, after some time, doing some flips and doing stuff like that.
Wait. So you had your back broken, or the fracture was there.
It's so common, Renars.
And then you were just like, fuck it, I will do backflips.
Yeah, but it was a time. The body heals itself.
Oh, okay. So you already felt, you felt like you recovered, basically.
Yeah, maybe not.
Not 100%.
No, it's like you have some kind of knee pain, but now you have in the back, right? So you're a sportsman. When you are in mind the pedal to the metal and you're like, I cannot go out of shape and stuff like that. I worked so hard for this. It's a mental state, and it's very, very like harmful. So I was really going more and more when you have a good muscle surrounding, holding it in place in that time, right? So you can kind of ignore it for a while. So I did that mistake.
Wow.
So that is a mistake, guys.
So then
if you're
on
watching
top of
this,
the first one, the first injury was when you were doing deadlifting. What was that again?
Yeah, so deadlift.
Yeah. But what was the injury?
So you fractured the vertebrae.
So fractured vertebrae. Yeah. Then the second one
in a neck, in the cervical, lower part of the cervical in the neck. I landed on my neck doing a back flip. Yeah.
Why did you land on your neck?
I slept. I did like a sequence.
You slipped, not slept.
Slept.
Slept is this.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Damn.
Slap.
Latvian speaking English. That's for me. I'm
You're
talking
doing
about
very
myself.
well, by the way.
Thank you so much.
Doing an amazing job.
Yeah, the most of the times it's my Norwegian, so
Yay.
you can talk next
so
time.
this guy speaks 4 languages: Russian, Latvian, Norwegian, English. I speak 3
A little bit German.
and a half. Oh, a little bit German. I can also say
Guten Tag.
Ich bin eine geile Lette.
Oh!
Do you know what that
Das
means?
stimmt. Geile Letter?
Geile.
Geile. Maybe?
No. Geile means horny.
All right. You know the language. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn. All right. So injury after injury.
Right.
And that's very common. When you start study and work with the people, you can see this is very common. So people just ignore some very serious shit that they in the beginning don't feel it this way. So, and I'm the case. Yeah.
And especially because they have that lifestyle of like they, as you said before, you're an athlete. You everyone looks at you as that athlete. You look in the mirror, you're an athlete, and then you just push it like pedal to the metal.
Yeah, what I say.
But it's true. I totally agree, and I think only in like probably last 4 or 5 years I got much smarter. I had a situation, and also connected with my back. I had really nasty back spasms, like really bad when I could not move. I could not move for a long period of time. And I remember I went to see a physio in London, and I was just ready. He's going to go check my back or whatever and going to say, oh, you have a bulging disc, you have whatever. And he's like, go through, check. Well, he didn't do the x-rays or MRIs, but he was like very confident. He's like, you have no issue. I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
You don't. And then I was like, so how come I have these nasty back spasms? And they come, like they return back and back. And he's like, what do you do for recovery? And I'm like, what is recovery?
Yeah.
So
100%.
At the time, I did not know what is cold baths or saunas or like massages.
You're skipping all of it.
I didn't do any of that. And then the next question, he's like, so how often do you train, Renars? And I'm like, about 6 hours a day, every day, 7 days a week. He's like, wait, are you kidding me?
Do you sleep?
And I was like, okay, maybe not 6, like it's like about 5. So I go in gymnastics in the morning, which is about 2.5 hours. And I go in the evening and I go to do like all the kickboxing and weights, like whenever. And then he's like, and you don't rest. I was like, no. You're like, you a fucking idiot. That's what he told me. And then he said like, just reduce the training and you're going to be fine. And what I did, I made a decision. I took all my evening training out. I train only in the morning, and I still to this day sleep. I train only in the morning. Right, back spasms are gone, and I was fine, and I'm fine.
When you push too much, so the nervous system.
You have to, your body has to. Obviously, also, your body gets older, and it's like all the what's the word when you just like overuse your body? It's like a tear. Something in tear. Yeah. What is it? Wear and tear. Yeah, that's the one. So and you now in this position that you have all these 2 main injuries, right? And so what was the next step?
So no, that was actually that it started to go spirally down pretty fast. I experienced more and more symptoms because it was a neurological thing. So it was compromising the nerves that supplies other areas like a very like important areas like heart, like lungs.
Wow.
My neck injury started to damage the innervation to the eye, so I could less and less see with my left eye. So and a lot of things, so very simple things, and I came to the point where I was not able to walk.
And these things, what you just mentioned, like, did someone explain to you that because of what you have there?
Not in the beginning, no.
But the thing is, like, you have the knowledge about,
That's the beauty of it, kind of, right? So you're going through like a very highly educated. Like a structure, and you're learning about the human physiology and learning all the stuff and working with the people, but it is not going through the main core of it, and you don't have the whole picture of it. So you cannot connect until you experience something like that on your own. So now you have this shit and you feel it like pain 24/7, and then you're experimenting, doing stuff, and you're having feedback. Well, that's where you learn.
Right.
So when it's a theory, you're like, oh yeah, I read this book and this book and go through the points and then stuff like that. It's kind of yeah and no. right? So when the serious stuff comes in and you cannot explain, and you go to one doctor and he says one thing, and go to another one, he says another thing, and they conflict to each other.
Yeah, it's great. Good that you start talking about doctors. So doctors were basically not really sure what to do with you. Was it the case, or did you find someone who said, okay, we need to do surgery, but then you said like, oh, it's 50-50?
yeah. So some doctor, but there was one doctor that said very honestly, so yeah, if we do this, so you have this 50-50 chance we can damage the brainstem.
And just as that meme goes around like, are you going to live or die? 50-50.
Yeah.
But then, wait, in your case, so if the 50% that you're going to recover and get me fine, so what are the other 50%?
Not fine. You just you can have
less fine.
You have the main system in the body that's a nervous system. If that goes wrong, you go wrong, and you never know how it's gonna go.
So literally, you can get like paralyzed and shit.
In certain degree, yeah, you can start to experience some numbness all the time. You can one leg kicks off. You can have like problems with digestion. You can have like a heart palpitation.
So what it is, it could be like opening the box of Pandora. So you don't know, you have no fucking clue what could go wrong.
They have like kind of lucky guess.
Oh shit!
They can have like, but they never know. They can not tell you. Right. So when I was a person, hey, all right, I did some harmful things in my life. I was not smart enough, wise enough, right, to care about my life and life in general. Mm-hmm. So, but now if I'm still able to breathe, mm-hmm. right, maybe not walk so well, but if I'm able to breathe and think, maybe I can do something about it, right? So, and I will give the chance and give all of it, maybe just to improve, because all the pills I was using, like antidepressants, painkillers and stuff like that, was not helping much.
Wow.
So what do you do? So the doctors are confused. They don't know, maybe this, maybe that. There's maybe no chance, right?
And how long did you have this like kind of in a lingo situation where you're
it was a couple of years.
Couple of years.
Yeah. So in the beginning, how it was, so you have a symptom, like mostly we are programmed like this. You have a symptom and you're looking for solution outside of yourself. So I was going all over the place. I was mad at doctors. I was looking, listening, open mind kind of. But I was also mad at the point because it's not helping. They're coming back and I'm blaming you because you're not helping me. Mm-hmm, so I took all the responsibility off myself. And I just at one point realized, damn, what I'm doing. Wow. I'm just waiting when it's going to be better.
So someone else is going to basically
fix me.
Fix you.
Fix me, please, so I can be the same again.
Yeah, wow.
And that was my mistake. So I was not willing to change. I was not seeing even that I should change. Right. Yeah. And that was kind of boom in my mind.
But change in the sense of like that you would not do anything towards like recoveries. You were just living your life as normal. I mean, you didn't do like crazy like smoking, drinking, and partying.
Yeah, there was a part of my life that I was experimenting, but not so much.
Right.
No. Yeah, so...
But you basically, what you're saying, you kind of were... now when you look back, you were struggling with this idea that you didn't do anything actively about improving this situation, but were you just expecting that someone else is going to give you a solution?
Yeah, that was I was thinking that I was doing, but my doing was going to the doctor's office and saying, fix me.
Right.
So that's it. So, but then I was starting to flip this around and seeing myself, and that's awareness, self-awareness. Yeah. I was starting to ask the question, and from very simple things. So, what the heck I'm doing through all day, right? So, how I'm thinking, how I'm using. Oh, I have a primary function such as breathing. How well do I breathe to improve my well-being?
So, why do you think? And what was the point where you're like, okay, you start shifting your outlook and where you start shifting the way you were thinking? What happened?
That's very, very, very funny, because I had the symptoms like I was heating up, right? So because of my compromised nerve supply and to the head and the blood supply to the head, I was experiencing the heating up. So my head basically turned red.
I think the word you want to use is overheating.
Overheating,
so you were like really overheating.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I was looking for solutions, and the best solution to put the head under the cold water. So nice. It's just simple as that. Nice.
So I like that. Yeah, look at this wise man. Basically, I'm overheating. Let's stick my head nice.
Yes. So, and I was doing at the beginning just with my head, like under the cold water shower, like I was not going in completely.
Wow.
So that, okay, it cooled me down a little bit. And I was like, oh, right, okay, I feel I'm a bit better. Oh, much better, right? So colder it is, so longer it prolongs that time. And then I thought maybe I'll just go in all the way and feel what it is. So that was the starting point actually to the cold.
So basically there you had no idea about Wim Hof and cold.
No idea. I was not interested. I hated the cold.
Oh my God. I
love
love this because so many people now probably see you, like they see what you do, like 2 minutes under like zero water, which is insane. And then they're like, oh yeah, he got inspired. Yeah. He read a book or some shit or whatever. Saw a seagull fly over. But you literally were overheating and you just
a symptom. Just a symptom. And I was looking how to escape and how to suppress it. That was my pill in the beginning. Right. And there I started to ask the questions. So that was like, hey, what's happening? What can I do more? How I can use this force to shift, and I didn't know that there is more into it, right? Wow. So then I just started to look how most of us do.
Because also growing up in Riga, you're a city boy.
Yeah,
you were not exposed to saunas and shit.
I was exposed, because I had like a family that was a little bit out of the Riga, so I had So we did. But I loved it.
But it wasn't like every week thing.
No, it wasn't. No, it was sometimes thing.
Yeah.
But I was more into the traditional and more into the sauna. So it was like washing yourself, going in a little bit in the heat and running out and for 1, 2, 3 and back. It's not much. It was not close to what's happening right now.
Very similar to also like where I grew up in my countryside. We would go to sauna every Saturday. So like my family was Catholics who would go every Sunday to the church, right? Yeah. So the idea is like you want to be clean when you go to the church.
Yes.
And we used sauna. I'm so lucky that my dad, he liked to go actually use the steam and the heat and all that stuff. So we'd go first then we'd maybe run to the river because like we have a river very nearby, and then we would just wash ourselves. Sauna,
that's so cool.
Because we also didn't have running water. We didn't have like showers and stuff. Like that's a very typical countryside in Latgale where I'm from. But so I was exposed to that all the time, and then it was funny. As soon as like this madness and craziness starts about, oh my God, sauna is amazing, releasing these like proteins and all that shit. Like fuck off. We just used it to wash our asses.
Simple as that.
And then we run to water because it was like too hot.
So true. Right. And for me, it wasn't. So I was not very much into that. Right. So and a heat, the sauna also, because of those symptoms, I was not looking for the sauna, the polarity of the cold.
No,
right.
Obviously, you just want to be cold, like just cool down.
And
this is the year 2000. Just to have chronology here, so 2010, 11.
I discovered that cold thing later on when I was in Norway. So I was experiencing those symptoms. So we were moved.
So you already moved to Norway.
Moved to Norway, and
with a fucked up body.
Yeah. I had the help from a family a lot, right? So they helped me so much in all possible areas.
Family like your family, your wife
family,
and your kids.
Yes. So they helped me and still helping me because I'm crazy.
Yeah.
So I was not into that so much, and I was looking for all the solutions to help me and with all those symptoms.
What happened with the decision moving to Norway? Was it just for better opportunities economically mainly?
Yes, that also, and escaping that madness and shit that happened with bankruptcy and
right. So you just want to get away.
Company,
clear the head,
clear the head, and I was not seeing myself there anymore. It's just so mess, right? In all areas. So
awesome. Let's have a break.
Blah blah blah. Renars podcast.
So here we go, back to it, and Norway. And before you start talking about Norway, I want to tell my story about Norway.
All right,
I'm
listening.
I love Norway, and I'm actually very thankful for Norway because it did open my eyes. So the story goes, I was in one before the last year in high school, and our English teacher, she's amazing. Her name is Anita. Shout out to Anita. She's honestly one of like biggest inspirations in my life and how I changed my life. It was because of my teacher, So she basically, all she did, even though she was an amazing teacher in school and everything, but what she did, she organized a little exchange program with this one tiny school in Norway. So the Norwegian kids come to Latvia, see the Latvia and drink the cheap booze. Obviously, no one saw that. And then we would go to Norway, from tiny little town in Latgale, whatever. So we would see something, right? And the idea was that we would arrive there and we would do like little presentations about what Latvian culture is and all that kind of stuff, right? And then that moment, I just was like, I was gobsmacked with not understanding how come that country whose English is also a second language, they are so much better.
They're very
so they
good.
kids they speak fluent English, right?
Very good.
And then I was like, I couldn't understand. So I was thinking because we're lazy, we didn't study properly. Like that's the ideas. And I came and returned back to Latvia, and I would study as like crazy. My teacher was like, because I'm kind of dyslexic, like my writing is horrible in English, right? So I would write her letters and she would do the corrections. It was all covered with the red ink because it was so bad.
Yeah.
But she was giving me kudos and appreciation that I'm trying, and complimenting me, all that. And so only years later, I found out why Norwegians and Scandinavians in general, they English is much better. And you know what's the reason?
I can guess because they have it's all over the place, and when you watch TV, you can see all movies are not translated into Norwegian. Did I guess?
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly the main reason. Is because in Eastern European countries, the foreign movies or English-speaking movies are dubbed. Dubbed with Russian or Latvian or any whatever other languages. Yeah. That's why every time you meet someone from Poland, from Russia, you have these really thick accents. Yeah. And then people are like, oh, it's just your accent.
They don't hear it all the time.
Exactly.
And then,
So kids, if we would grow up with watching original and with subtitles, we are like sponges. We phonetically what we hear, we repeat, right?
Yes.
But if we don't hear it, how the fuck we can repeat it? Right. And then in my school, my first English teacher before Anita, before my really cool English teacher, she was like Russian lady. She was a lovely Russian lady, but her English accent was petrifying.
Oh my!
The cat sits on the tree, and then three girls come together to play hopscotch. Yeah. It's like, what the fuck, And then I remember we went to the Anita, and she's like, oh my God. So the first thing she said, imagine that you have a hot potato in your mouth. So you never really crush it, it's a little bit exaggerated, but that's kind of the concept. So anyways, Norway Norway was not only opened my eyes about, there's a language that kids are better, and then so it motivates me to study more, but also I was like, wow, I'm fine. That was the first time I was abroad in life. I did travel with the karate to Czech Republic, Poland, but that's it's the same shit. It's very similar to Latvia, right? It's flat, a couple lakes, whatever. But Norway with the fjords, with the mountains. I remember I was standing up with open mouth when our bus was going through these fjords at night. And all you can see these lights and all these beautiful cliffs and whatever. And I could not understand why the rest of the kids were sleeping.
Yeah,
I was like,
it is amazing. It's like you're in a poster or something.
Yeah, or it's like Harry Potter movie.
Yeah.
It's like mountains and lights. It's just amazing. So, and then those things opened my eyes so much and it really influenced me. And then 5 years later, when I was doing my master's degree, I had an option to go to Norway to do one of the courses. Yeah. So I ended up going to Bergen. That's why I told you that I went to Bergen. Yeah. And Bergen is such a beautiful old city with architecture, with everything. So that is my experience about Norway.
Yeah.
You go. And why did you guys chose actually Norway?
We had family members there already. Okay. So the brother of my wife, he was with the family there. And that was kind of opening the doors, right? So we were looking for where to go. Where's the connection maybe? So it's very common, right? Yeah. So, and that was kind of an easier way. Right. And you're not left alone. And they helped a lot. So, and we moved. First, it was me. I was driving just to explore and see. With all my condition and suffering, I was crawling through and trying. So I was very kind of in that very strong mentally actually at that point. So all with this martial arts thing and stuff, I was very resilient. And
It did help. Like karate for me also helped me so much with this.
It gave strength, like mental strength, and I can do it. I can go through, and even if with all that. But at one point, I realized now I just if I'm continuing this path in this direction, so that it's gonna be just worse and worse, and it was.
And you were quite heavily taking painkillers
all the time, more and more. So and stronger and that came to the point with morphine and stuff like that, that I was not willing to go this way because I had a bit of knowledge how it will, potentially turn out. So I was not interested in that. So the turning point was there actually, and I started to look into the cold and warm in Norway.
Oh,
yeah. So and I think it's a great place. You have a great winter there. And my first point was a location in the north of Norway. Right. So actually, there's a winter. There's the wind.
What's the name of the town?
It's a Lofoten Island.
Lofoten Island.
Yeah, islands kind of like it's
sounds so German. That's not Lofoten Island, yeah.
Lofoten in Norwegian.
What does that mean?
I don't know. It's just a combination of island. I don't know exactly.
I think it means platypus.
You think so? Really?
The island of
maybe
platypus.
I have to check. I haven't checked.
Lofoten Island.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but it's a very beautiful place, but it's rough. The weather is rough. If you want to practice like cold, that's the place.
Shit.
Yeah. So, but anyways, it was like few years there, 3 or 4 years.
So you lived in Lofoten Island for 3 years?
Four actually years.
4 years, okay.
So we decided, no, that's not our place. That's hard and it's not getting better and less help because you cannot travel so easily and you have a family and it's hard and expensive. So we just moved down. We found the lowest point in Norway and then we just moved. I was already gaining some strength. Getting back on the feet and better. So I was with the strength to move further down.
Right. So, but the first those 4 years in Lofoten Island, so you started practicing. You started like doing all the cold. Did you already start getting into sauna stuff as well, or not yet?
Very. It's like a baby steps, and my cold was not even a cold.
Right.
I was going in the contrast. Like getting the contrast showers. So just putting a little bit colder,
right.
Just a little bit warmer, colder, and that was my beginning. And I could not take it. I was in such a pain. I could not put my leg in a cold water. Wow. It was like free and giving pain signals straight away.
Right.
So I was not that person that natural and just going all the way and I can experience. So I have a lot of those people now that comes to my events, right? So they are like, they go straight away. Right, they're so natural. So the functions, the systems in their body are so functional that they can tolerate, they can do it, they can adapt fast.
Well, the thing is, like, also if you represent like 4 different seasons and they are exposed to that weather since they're kids, it can be like, you don't know what are their traditions if they did like sauna and cold stuff before in the past, like all this kind of stuff.
That also, where you live, the external environment, that is very important.
Dude, when I lived in Canada, in Saskatoon, in the province Saskatchewan, I did door-to-door sales in minus 35 degrees.
All right.
I would go from house to house selling cable TV, and it would be minus 35 degrees. And I would see local.
You did well?
I did pretty good, actually.
All right.
Honestly, I did pretty good. Okay. But I would meet some other sales guys who were selling some other products, whatever, local Canadians. They would walk with open jackets, chest out, whatever. Damn. And I'm like, you fucking kidding me? And I'm coming from the country where we also get minus 30.
Yeah.
Like, but I would never be like spending so much time outside and doing shit. So I would be like 2 scarves, like 3 jackets, like 15 gloves. Like I was just like,
otherwise you catch the cold if you don't have
pretty much.
Mom says so.
That is like if people are used to that and then they been exposed, obviously. But then, so when you were still on that island, you didn't study anything about it? Did you start looking into Wim Hof?
I was starting to look into it. Right. So I was starting to have a informative flow, and looking more and more and practicing step by step. I was willing to do long, like a marathon. I was not like a fast now, because that was a different mentality for me.
Yeah.
I had to open my mind and had to understand what it takes to change. I was studying the change. So there I was not forcing, I was not comparing myself to something, but I was learning, listening, and practicing, and doing those baby steps just eventually to get well, or get better in my functions.
What did you do for work and stuff? What did you go? Both guys did it for work. How did you guys make a living?
Yeah, the first thing I did was a fish factory.
Fish factory.
Fish factory.
Proper labor, stinky schminky.
Yeah, but my progression was very fast there. So
really?
I was like kind of guy that like seeing what needs to be improved, and I was very open to discuss those things.
And obviously your English is good, like all that. So they see that you're educated boy.
That helped, yeah. And I was again interested, like in growth. I was that again mental state that what can I improve in this area? How can I be useful, and how can I help others?
Oh, nice.
So and I was going to the department upstairs, like knocking on the door and saying, "Hey, I can do this and I can do that. Are you interested?"
I can do handstand.
Yeah, as well. Yeah, they're okay. Not that time, but I was able to. Yeah. So, but they were very very open to me.
Nice.
So yeah. So and they say, "Yeah, okay, you can lead this department."
Sweet.
And I was like a group of Norwegian. They were not very happy, I should say, in the beginning.
Yeah,
I had to prove myself.
But listen, like in the same time, you've been in the management position before. You've been and the other managers who hire you, they can see that straight away. Like that is.
I think we smell each other straight away, so you can feel it and you can see because I was showing the results. I can do this, and I can show system improvements, and then let's do this way.
Nice.
So very fast. Yeah.
Yeah, because the fish factories, that's a big thing in Norway. There's a lot of foreign workers go to work there. I heard that about it.
But then at that time it was not huge, but it was kind of they already 18 or 20 years old. So now it's one of the biggest one.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So and they were growing very fast, and it was a very good time for me to grow there. So sweet. I improved in Norwegian. I learned a lot, and I did it very well actually.
Sweet.
Yeah. But that was not my thing. Like kind of what I was looking for, and I took parallel to that, like coaching, training, going through my shit and sharing. With
coaching
people.
and sharing, like that PT, like
yes,
like
PT, and I found some gyms, and I was knocking again in the door, opening the doors and looking how I can work there.
How exciting is that to go to a different country where also like English is not their first language and start literally like your life from zero? Would you, when you look back, like, do you think that's one of the coolest things happen in your life?
It is. It was scary, I can say. Like,
but
honestly,
exciting
it's exciting because there is a area you can explore now. You can see something new. You can grow. I already understood that through those challenges and shit, I can grow. Obviously, could speak English a bit.
Right.
So, but Norwegian for me was like Chinese.
Yeah,
I could not understand the words. Like you get the sentence.
Yeah, hvordan har du det?
Ja, det går veldig bra. And you're like standing like pause, just stopping and then can you say it in English, please? And this all you feel like kind of not good, not in the place.
Right.
And you have to go through that discomfort, right? So you're stepping over yourself, like you're completely nothing here.
Yeah.
Nobody wants you here. So you have to prove yourself. You have to learn the language. Once you start to learn the language, they kind of, all right, this progression last week was like nothing. Now you're already saying something. So all the respect.
You can tell me, fuck off.
Also that. Yeah, actually, they swear a lot in that area. That's the most. Yeah, whole Norway knows. If you come from that area, you swear a lot. That's gonna be like.
So they're like hillbillies.
And that's normal. They're not like thinking they're rude. That's
just
who
the way they are.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Okay, so then those four first years on that island, we're managing fish stuff, doing some also trying to do some PT stuff, and little by little start getting into like the therapy stuff.
Yes.
And then what happened? Why did you guys move to this other place? Because you felt like it's too rough.
There's no growth anymore for us, so we push kind of ourselves out of this.
Yeah.
So I was not seeing, hey, where's the
Our
next
future,
step?
basically,
Yeah,
yeah.
our future, and then we had the children, right? So what they are going to do?
Right.
What's the next step? And only thing to study or something after that is to moving out. So we understood, and the conditions like the weather, the people, there are not so high population. So we decided we are moving down, and we pointed down in the sunniest place in Norway, and we just moved. Nobody there, nobody again waiting for us.
What's the name of that place?
Kristiansand.
Kristiansand.
Yes.
Oh my God! It sounds like you're doing karate, and he's like Kristiansand. Kristiansand.
Yeah, it is so. But that is again the next level, and I'm really happy that we did that. Made the decision. So it challenged us a lot. The few times we know we are moving out. Now this is, and it's a very closed area. People are not again welcoming you, and it takes so long time. If you, especially if you want to be a specialist in some kind of area, right? So you want to, people come to me like a therapist, right? So 5 years at least for people to start to accept something, and come and regularly. And make a business and living out of it. So everything before that is just struggling and finding and going through that hard stuff. And,
but that's what the fun is. Like if you would just get those things so easy, everyone can do it.
Exactly. So you have 100%. A satisfaction out of it at the most. And if you're willing and you're sticking to that, it's gonna reward you.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so then you moved to this Kristiansand place. Oh, I even remember now.
And to Kristiansand.
Yeah, so the Kristiansand, and now you're like, okay, so I want to do therapies, or did you do PT for a while, or did you find another fishing factory for a bit?
No.
No,
I did not.
No to the fish.
No to the fish. So again, I took a time off. My wife started to work first, and she's in the beauty line. So she was doing the nails and stuff like that, and looking for a place. And she found a very good place where to start. And she was building up client lists. And I was with the children helping and doing my shit just to bring myself up on feet, because my functions again was like going like waves. I was not all on top, and I was not holding that level that I was functioning, and I can go 100% whatever. So I needed to build up, and I was again working very hard to build it up, and studying, practicing, and working with specialists, finding them to help me. And that's how I end up working and doing stuff I do now as a therapist right now. So, yeah.
And when you say specialists and stuff, so who did you find there around? Like, was there anyone physically there? With specialists, you mean like studying their materials?
Yeah, there was internet. That's the one channel. So
that's
looking,
one specialist.
That's one specialist through the internet.
Yeah.
So I found Dr. John Bergman.
Okay.
He's from Huntington Beach. Amazing chiropractor.
What beach?
Huntington. It's like Los Angeles area.
Okay, in LA.
So, yeah.
Okay.
And he's a chiropractor. He's also has a YouTube channel, so you can look it up.
Say the name. What's his name?
Dr. John Bergman.
I
will show you maybe. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna feature him. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So and I was taking calls with him. He was teaching me. I was sending my X-rays and stuff like that. He was like, what to do. And he was directing me and talking with the specialists in Norway. And I found a guy from a USA that's a chiropractor too. And I started to work with him, and he works with Dr. John Bergman. So and the communication and doing the proper things with them, and my personal work that I was studying and doing all with the therapies.
How did you just get to them? That obviously, did you pay them? Did they were just nice to you?
No.
Yeah.
That's to pay. No, nobody.
Need to pay all that
It's very
fish
expensive.
factory money went out.
Very expensive and time consuming and everything. Yeah, it was like
so did they from very beginning like say like, okay, we can help you?
Yeah.
Or were they like, what the fuck is this?
I was looking into his channel and I just found a common sense. Like straight away I was listening, and from all the things I was studying, it just come together in one piece. I was like, I need this more. I need to explore. And I was not only interested in myself, I was kind of looking into the bigger picture, right? The other things, what he's saying and listening, and I was not taking everything like it is. I was like more listening, and I need to test it. I need to see what it is and practice, and how can I use this to become better?
Yeah.
Because my feedback was my own well-being. Like if the pain symptoms goes down, if I can move better, like the spine is more mobile. So okay, this shit works. So yeah,
This shit works.
So yeah, and all the combination with the specialists and my work just gradually, slowly helped me to improve.
Wow.
So it's pretty hard now to describe. And it was not going straight line. It's a very long marathon, and it was going like this. Yeah, and I didn't know if people are saying, "Oh, how do you know? How did you know that you have to go this path and it comes with the results?" I didn't know. Wow. So I'm just going. I felt that I have to do my best and not to close my doors with some very good wise men and listen to them and people, right? So and practice and test it out. So I was willing to go and to do the shit, without knowing that it will be okay.
And do you still stay in touch with them, or
I still stay in touch? Yeah, not so much. So like too much of friends. I'm very much friend with a guy in Norway. Yeah. So so I was almost working with him like side to side as a therapist, and he has a clinic there, obviously. So and but I just I'm in a different kind of side of the city, so I need to. It's like almost 40-minute drive.
So much 40 minutes.
Yeah. So it is a chance and possibility, but I have a clients in area I work. So
right.
I don't want to just travel. When you have a family, use the time.
Well, I don't know, but yeah.
You can imagine.
Hopefully soon. I can imagine.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that whole information, and then when did you started like thinking, oh, I could help other people, and also like where did the Wim Hof concept came in, and was it Wim Hof the main one you looked at, or like there were other people who you took their kind of ideas about the cold therapy? How did that go?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah. So Wim Hof definitely was the guy I was like, you look to the whole list
and he stands out.
And you're just stopping there. Again, that common sense. It's not about that blah, blah, blah stuff. You're like a practice. It's the 1, 2, 3 steps, and you do it, and you can test it and have a feedback very fast. So, but I was already doing stuff, but that clicked very faster for me because I already had some kind of feedback, right? So that was more in the depth. That was more science and stuff like that. So I was again putting all that puzzle together pretty fast from him. And Wim Hof, I was listening again and looking into it. And studying basically, practicing.
Because now also like the question is, how does the cold therapy plays with your recovery? So the guys you were working with, like the American guy and the Norwegian guy, so these chiropractors, how did they looked at you? Oh, you're doing cold therapy. Did they say do it, don't do it? What would they?
That's also the reason why I was sticking with them. Because they are all straight away said.
Did you feel that was an earthquake?
I feel something moves.
Yeah, that was earthquake.
Really?
Yeah, in Bali they have earthquakes, very short ones, like just like a second, and just whole thing.
I thought it's just my heart.
No. I thought you just moved like it's like couldn't be. I can feel it. Yeah.
Oh man.
Hey, earthquakes in Bali.
First time experience, podcast and
an earthquake. Yeah. Oh my
gosh, double. Yeah. So
what the guys were saying about the cold therapy?
Yeah, they said you just need to do whatever helps you to function better, and that made total sense for them. The thermotherapy is a natural way of like our to expose our bodies to that kind of force. So and they just directed that you should go slowly, step by step, and I was communicating with them what I do exactly, how I'm doing this, not forcing it, and they saw the very good progression. So that's why they say you just have to do it. You just keep going,
right?
Because I had not only improvements like kind of feeling wise, but there was a picture changes, like doing all those x-rays, right? So you see the curvature change, your biomechanics, how you move the body, the structure change, the joints are getting better, all the production synovial fluid is better. They're testing me,
and that's mainly because of the cold therapies, or also because of the physio, other stuff.
It's a complex
combination,
stuff. It's
right?
combination. Yeah. Basically, I became all those practices stimulated and gain awareness about the self, my primary functions, right? So I started to understand, hey, to endure, to become better, to improve in function, I have to be better breather, right? So I have to understand the movement of the body that helps my physiology to go into homeostasis faster, to deal with the stress. So what it is, so the training wise, so it's like going, what we know with the biceps curls and stuff like that, it's just a breaking down. Right. So what is the movement? Oh, I can understand how many joints you have, the physiological movement of the joints, how many vertebrae you have in the spine, how they should move. Right. So in different planes and stuff like that. So combination of the movements.
Right.
So and understanding my uniqueness, individual uniqueness. So my condition of the body and how I should move, not you, me.
Jeez.
So you discover you understand where you are and what you should do to improve your movement, right? So you're thinking about very simple things, and you're doing basically very simple things, but you understand those primary functions with starting the mind, the breathing, and the movement, how to connect to help go through the stressors.
But if I would ask you to break it down, what do you think plays the biggest part? Like, is it the saunas? Is it the cold therapies? Is it the movement? Because it's difficult to pinpoint, like, which one actually help you the most, obviously.
There is no answer to that.
There's no answer to that.
That's individual uniqueness. I'm a bit different than you are.
Of course.
We have a bit different physiology.
No one is like me.
So it's about adaptation, my ability to adapt in environment. And
yes, but my question is mainly for your specific case because of your back issues and all that. So now if you come to me and I'm the doctor and I'm saying, like, listen, the most important out of these 3, 4, whatever is the cold therapy. Then number 2, some exercise, and number 3, sauna. Would you be able to put them in some kind of scale saying this is more, or you just say you have to do all of them? And then
that's a finding through the process, because some people have a lack in a mental state. They're really high, like they don't understand. They don't ask any questions about it. They don't have awareness about that function.
No. It's not about that. It's more about what do you think helps the most for your specific condition.
The thermotherapy, definitely.
You think the thermotherapy made the biggest difference?
Opened the doors for all of that.
Right.
Yeah. So it's so deep, actually. So you're just your awareness grows. It's so fast, and you're learning about those functions so well through the process that you have the result that you want to share straight away. And you feel the difference very fast in your ability to function. And that was the feedback for me. Okay, this is it. If I can feel better in the morning and go through the day with less symptoms and next day even better. So, man, I'm sticking to this. Because everything else before was not helping. It was getting worse. I was very depressed, suppressed, and all those.
What were the other things what you tried?
Oh, besides
just
like the natural things?
Yeah. Well, like, so you said like none of the things you did before worked. So like obviously the painkillers
the
wouldn't
natural traditional way. So with all the doctors and pills, that was a thing. I tried some kind of esoterical things and like going also to the yoga and stuff like that. You know, it's very interesting. It is something in that, right? It is very good, but it was not getting to the core of it.
Right.
So to get me up, okay, this is something I have to do from from day to day.
If I would ask you to send me photos of your X-ray before and after, do you have that?
Yeah, for
and
sure.
It's obvious. You can see the difference.
You can see the difference. So if you you have to understand a bit that you have like a cervical, and the cervical function is more to get your head back, and it have like a C form, and that is to reduce that stress. It's like holding that
like a suspense.
Suspense, the gravity force. My neck was reversed.
Like this?
Yeah, straight and like, but I'm standing neutral. The neutral position is your neck is back.
Yeah.
So,
oh wow.
Yeah.
So
and that
you can see
compromises
that.
the nerves and the blood supply to the head.
And because of that damage would happen, like that's why your neck.
The damage here and compensation goes up and down. So I experienced all the way from bottom up, down, so everything. So the building was like this.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay, so I want to get into you having the people coming over and doing all that stuff. But before that, like, how did the saunas join the force of Uldis getting better? Concept.
Yeah. So
obviously it's because it's fucking freezing. You get in freezing water.
Yeah,
it's
you
kind
need
of
to heat
cool to
up.
warm up.
Yeah.
Is that how it just came across, or it was different?
No, not exactly. So through the studying and understanding the more cells biology, I understood that it is about the polarity. So the cell needs to move, it needs to be stretched and shortened, so to have the metabolism of it. It gets the energy in and it consumes and metabolizes and it gets it out. So it needs the movement. And we have a lot of receptors in the body and they respond to external changes in temperature. And all those pain receptors, thermoreceptors. So you need both of them, and it's so natural. You get them all the time, even in this environment. So you go outside of this room, you have the like heat, right? So warmer. So, but not to the degree that it's like high heat and cold, right? So the higher it is, that it more triggers the body to release hormones that does something, right? That gives the
and
change.
it's important to go like not just like very cold and back to normal, but it's important to go very cold and very hot. Very
hot.
cold and very hot.
It's
so
the
that's
polarity. The deeper into the cold, the deeper into the
I
warm.
love that you're throwing that word around. Polarity. Isn't that a polarity?
Yeah, it's
It's going from
yin and
that.
yang, yeah.
Yeah, and then saunas. I mean, it is probably one of the coolest things since I was a kid. I knew like sauna is just fucking amazing. You go
It is.
sweat out all your crap and everything. Because we were looking at it like you're sweating out your. I didn't even know the word toxins. It was like sweating out just
Poison, basically.
everything, right? And you just feel so good having like a cup of tea or maybe cold beer.
Yes, everything. So, but I changed a lot all about my approach to that, right? So, as we were talking in Latvia, you kind of go. Your reason is to wash yourself and cleanse, cleanse for elderly more. They understand maybe more, but. You kind of go into the sauna and then you kind of jump into the cold and then you're back heating up, right? So, but that was not it. So I shifted around. So and I started to practice cold first. So and I was going in and I was doing the work and work with my primary functions. I was very good into the breathing. I'm getting better. I can neutralize that impact, that force. And then I was doing some exercises outside in the snow, right? So just gradually going into that warm and heating up and sitting there in a warm. So and back and forth. So and I felt amazing. So every time there was no disappointment.
Right.
Every time. So I wanted to repeat this, and I wanted to share because it feels so great.
Yeah,
it's a natural like expression of ours to share it, right?
Yeah.
So and this is how it started. I started to share with the closest friends. So listen, and I was telling my story. Hey, this is what happened. This is and I was going through this one, and this works. Try it.
I mean, that is like your story is like an Oscar or like a typical Hollywood movie story. Yeah, you get an injury, you get really fucked. What to do next? Yeah. One of my favorite books, the yoga. Oh shit! I'm not saying one of my favorite books. I don't remember the title. It's the Yoga Warrior or so. Oh no, Warrior Pose. I think it's basically about this guy who broke his back and he was a journalist. He was and he was like investigative journalist and he was covering like these crazy war zones and like very in action kind of stuff, right? And literally he was in his hotel and the wind was crazy, blowing whatever, throwing the stuff around, and he just got on a chair to close the window and he fell. Damn. So slipped that thing and he broke his back. Literally broke his back. And he was for ages in denial to fixing it, like to go to doctors, whatever. So he would put the brace on and he would continue covering his, like, because he was really high in his...
That's insane.
Yeah, he was really high in his career. And he was like, if he would go and like say no...
He's not giving up.
Because they had, they had like this like a medical check before they would, physio check before he would, they would allow him to go to the war zone. Right? Obviously, he needs to do push-ups, pull-ups, and some running, whatever.
Yeah.
And the guy was going through excruciating pain and like a huge amount of painkillers, almost, like just passing out, and he just go and whatever. So long story short, he got to the point he was like super addicted for all his shit, like alcohol and all the pain killers and morphines, all that. And to the point where his girlfriend or wife at the point, like she wanted to leave him, all that stuff. And then it was just a waking point. And he went to the rehab and basically discovered yoga. And with yoga, he healed himself. Like he would be waking up 3 o'clock in the morning, whatever, do all these positions, whatever. And his back literally got healed. And he had a cancer as well. So anyways, the idea of that small, just like continuous doing these right things, like they literally can heal your body, and you are your example.
I can relate to that. I of course I have my own experience and I can speak for myself.
100%.
But I think and I feel that everything summarized and comes to the core of it about those primary functions, and there are things that you can do. You have some conscious influence over something, right, in your body. You can decide to breathe deeper now. You can decide to think, and you can decide to let it go. You don't think so much. You can decide to run faster or slower. So you have something, but we never know, and we never practice our individual, like unique organism in the way how exactly it works for me. How can I improve this? You're not into this in our society too much. Only when the trauma happens. And not for all of us. Some people find a way with a traditional, right? So and that's fine. But some people are really so messed up that it doesn't help. So what do? Either you go down or you decide to go. Again, polarity. So you're deciding, no, I will do my best. So that was story for me. So it's somehow, I'm here and I'm functional. I can travel and I can do stuff I was not even imagining that time. I was like going through the day was with a bit less pain was a success.
Yeah.
So that was my journey. So I'm very happy. Yeah, I took that. It was.
And then
hard.
so what do you say you had your first, like at the beginning it was just friends coming over and doing this stuff with you. When did you say how long ago you had your first clients, like actual people would pay money for doing this stuff with you?
It was pretty fast, and I found some company that has mobile saunas. So it is steam sauna, and
it looks like a tent. Is that
it is a tent.
That's crazy.
It is a tent, and it's already how many years? 6 years maybe,
right?
Something like that.
So what is the setup? So how do they make the oven and like where they put the rocks and all that stuff?
Yeah, it's a proper oven, but very light form, very light metal. Yeah. So I can bring it with me in my car, whatever. Yeah. So in Norway is perfect for that. So you can find the water all over the place, and I'm just going and doing this. So I'm announcing the event. So and people just signing up, and it's from mouth to mouth. So
awesome.
Yeah. So that was a period of time, and I even came to the point I opened the local. They had some place where to invite people because I wanted to add things, some food, educate people. We were talking about other things, what's important, like secondary things, not the primary, but we were doing like combination of all those things.
Like a whole, what you would say, like retreat, like
retreat, like a center. And I was doing my massages and therapies there, and I was working with the clients one-on-one and gaining that awareness for the person about his condition and uniqueness. So and that's the work, right? So a lot of people are.
But then, how long ago was that? You had the first client? When was it?
Yeah, it's a bit more than that. Some 7-8 years ago.
7 years. It's just approximately. It's not a big deal. And then now you would say you would have. How often do you have groups of people coming over? And how much does it cost? By the way, is that okay to say? How much you charge?
Yeah. It depends.
I mean, like as a bigger group, is going to be less, I guess.
Yeah. I had a group of 40 or over
40 people.
Yeah, wow. With more tents and some. Yeah, it happens, but I cannot be very on to person. So I'm just like it's more like
course.
a tribe
Yeah.
group session. But most of my group sessions are 5 to 7, 8 people. Then I can connect with
It's much easier for you.
So there was a point when it was every week, at least twice a week. So it was a lot in the beginning, but today, if you ask me, so it's much less because I also work now as a thermotherapist, massage therapist in a beauty salon, what I can say, together with my
like
wife,
a spa.
Yeah. So in city. And that's main because I want to grow in there. And from there, we are again connecting and making all those events and driving around. I'm pretty mobile. I can drive a long distance. Just setting up.
This event as well, like, so if people come over, let's say 7 people came over, you usually would, now you would go like set up the sauna, somewhere close to the river, right? Everyone's like parking around,
ocean,
kind of like this. Or also you can do it at your home place, like somewhere near.
I'm never doing this at home.
Yeah,
but,
not home, but
renting
nearby.
some space. But most of the times it's in the nature. And that's a most beautiful connection, right? So especially the winter time, and there's snow, and it's a minus degrees, and that's the best.
Right. And if you would quickly run through, like, what do you guys do? What is the first thing, second, third, fourth? Like, what do you guys do?
Yeah, we always start like when the people are coming into that experience, they have some kind of expectations, and there's a lot of chat. And people have questions and stuff like that, and they want to know, right? It's that mind thing. And the first thing is to go into cold. The practical thing, we are going into cold. Doesn't matter what kind of weather, the temperatures, we just go straight away in the cold. And there comes out all the shit. People are starting, well, how long can I do it and stuff. A lot of people are with conditions. We have to understand it's not just all people, healthy and strong. I'm coming in and I will test myself. So a lot of people are already suffering. And they say, I cannot deal with this. How can I survive in that cold? And there's a process how I'm guiding them through. And they very fast have this realization that they can do so much more than they think. And that's a beauty because they are realize the first function of their is mind.
Yeah, and their limitations.
The limitations and the beliefs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that kind of quiets them down. And then they are with emotionally, they start to share themselves. I can just stand there and they'll listen, right? And they, oh yes, I did. I felt that moment of the relief. I felt that I can do. I felt the depth because in the beginning, a lot of people are gasped, going in a really freezing cold. It's like shuts down that function. So we learn how to open, right? So we understand. Okay, and then I connect with all that informational flow. So they start to understand. Okay, inhale is more a sympathetic fight or flight. Exhale is more parasympathetic. That's a rest digest. If you learn to get it deep and prolong your exhalation, you will calm the nervous system down and blah blah blah, all that stuff. And they're like, all right, that makes sense. I want to listen more. So and then we go in a sauna. Yeah, we do some exercises outside, like the movement exercises, right? So a lot of people again with limitations say, I was my bad knee, I cannot do this lunge or squat. Or they after the cold, kind of the numbness and so adrenaline and all that stuff, but they really can move. And it's about that movement. You start to move progressively, so they kind of feel back pain going down. Just a lot of people forgetting about that issue, right? So they're just coming out. They're so excited, all that rush of the hormones. So we are moving, and then we are going into the heat, in the warm sauna.
So cold, movement, and sauna. Because also, like for those who are listening, it's very important after cold, never go straight to the heat. So never go straight to sauna or under the hot shower. So you want to get your blood pumping from like natural ways. So like do like squats, push-ups.
Exactly,
like
because what we do, we are gaining awareness of functions and we are gaining control. So you want to have this conscious control and what you can do in that process. Because what people are left with is that they have just one system, main system, nervous system, that they can now connect even more that relate to all other systems, and they have much more deeper influence, right? The conscious, there's unconscious part and conscious part, but what they can do to influence that consciously. And if there's a one system that responds to all of that shit, what's happening externally outside of you, so now you know what to do. Okay, when the stress comes to you, it doesn't matter. Is it cold now or heat? Is it some kind of emotional shit? Okay, I'm dealing the same way. And that's the practice what you need from day to day to become more resilient. So you're waking up all those systems, building up those muscles, right? So now to deal with any other stuff, you maybe have some issues in a space where you're working, right? So you will deal the same way. You will go through more with the ease.
So these people, like, do you have returning customers who like
a lot of them?
A lot of them returning. What do they practice at home by themselves? Like, do they join some spas where they can use saunas and they can start to use cold baths? So
it's very different.
Yeah.
There are some people that are with me in contact. They're, what's the next step? Right? So how can I do it? So there's this mind thing more.
Then you go naked dip in the middle of the night.
So there are some people, mostly guys, younger guys, that they're again reaching for results. They're how long time I can spend there and there. So what's the best? Like, I want to go now under the water. That's my next challenge, right? So with the head under, So and stuff like that. So kind of silly things. So it's not about that. So it comes to for someone faster and someone not so fast.
It's so funny. This is like, but this is, you can see the comparison or similarities when you start doing kung fu.
100%.
Wushu, sorry.
100%.
And when you did wushu, it's like, it's about the muscle, the speed, whatever. And then you're like, ooh,
I think it's
more about the mind. It's about that.
That's
but yeah, and I mean, it's interesting. Like, I could hear similarities also with Wim Hof's like retreats as well. Do very similar. People super afraid to jump in a cold water. So Wim would go through like some kind of a mental battle with them, like no, you can do it. Like, all you need to do this.
I never been there. I never learned from some of his students.
Yeah, I just saw some videos him doing it. And I think there was like there's this TV series or like these documentary called Goop was on the Netflix. There's this Gwyneth Paltrow, is that actress? She was organizing that.
Gwyneth Paltrow,
and then she was going like every series or every episode was about something else. Was something about they did shrooms. They were the shroom trip and how it's shroom trip with the like the not assistants but people who are like looking after you. Then there was some other stuff, and one of them was Wim Hof's as well. About learning cold and whatever.
I haven't seen this.
It's quite interesting. It's like, I don't think it's on Netflix now, but it was a year ago.
Okay, it's pretty fresh.
And they were going through like, and there was not many, like maybe 5 or 6 series, but each episode was about a different kind of a not issue, but like this totally different concept, which is about the health, mental health or physical health or both. I remember that. That's why I remember that. And Wim was just like running around them like, come on guys, you can do it. Like everyone is just dancing. Because they was like get in the water, movement, get to the warmth and all that stuff. Because like from my own experience, I started doing cold baths during the COVID. Like as many people tried to do a lot of weird shit during the COVID time. And I remember that one time I pushed myself so hard. I was in 4 degrees temperature, sitting for 7 minutes. And I got out and I could not warm up. I was just like, dude.
It's heavy after drop.
Yeah, it's like 100 push-ups, sit-ups, running around, like doing like nothing. And I feel my body's doing this. And then I looked into it more, like you never should get to that point. One of the biggest shows is like if your jaw starts shaking, that's like you should be out. And things like that. And so here you go straight away. I want to like talk about certain things as like, what would you say are probably the biggest myths about the cold stuff? Also, like we discussed this, like you go on feelings, I go on feelings now. I don't time myself anymore, I go cold bath every day. Also question, do you think it's a good idea to do cold therapy every day? And then he also said like, it's okay maybe to dip, but not to do a proper procedure. And there's a difference whether you just go like up to 1 minute or you sit there for like 5 minutes, 6 minutes.
And the temperatures,
And the other thing what is like huge now going around is the idea that if you want to gain muscle mass, you go sauna. So sauna apparently like that makes it, repairs and it gets better. But if you want to gain muscle and you do cold therapies, apparently that reduces. What is your opinion about that?
Yeah, we were talking about this actually. So about the inflammation. There are some studies about that already. So it's quite a lot. I don't remember what was the scientist that came with this, but anyway. So what happens when you are practicing in cold? It just reduces all those inflammation, basically, and that's a process of healing. So you need inflammation to heal the body, and training. It's obviously the damage on the body. You need to build now the tissue, right? So, and to build the tissue, everything is inflamed. So, and if you go in a cold, it just down.
Just
you
like
don't
that guy
have that
with the
anabolism, what it's called, right? So anabolic effect.
Yeah, just like that guy with the knee who lost the pain in the knee, right? He was like, "Oh, I can move my knee."
Exactly.
All of this is just kind of numbed it, basically.
Yeah,
And
no,
stop
it's the hormones also, because a lot of people are with the spinal injuries and stuff like that, and the vision problems. Everything just pumps up. Like the cells are vibrant. The energy is flow. The release of the hormones and stuff like. It's a complex. It's very, very. We don't know exactly everything, right? So it's just a cascade of activities that happens in the body that makes you much more alert and functional. So you need to survive. It's a survival mode. You're more alert. So now the body does everything, mobilizes everything, all systems for you to survive. And that's where you feel more alive. That's why you feel, oh yeah, you just feel so good. You shake it out. You want to move. You actually want to move now.
Yeah.
Right. So you need to heat up. It's like waking up all those natural instincts in the body, like animal things. And you just, if you follow them like normally people do, then it's going to be fine. You will just go through and have a good experience. And then after that, you kind of, clicking or connecting the dots. Or what did I did, right? So, and my job is to give those tips or gain that awareness. So setting back, it happened this and that and that. Right. So, and maybe next time we add something to that, because people oftentimes get something around 2 or 5% of everything that you speak. They remember the feeling. So if you left the guy with severe problems, health problems with, better feeling, and I felt this for years, right? This good. So now he feels good. He did something by himself. So he's all right. I'm gonna try. Some people I'm going to do this now. So yeah, it's amazing. I love it.
Let's talk about like exactly when, for example, people who have routines. So for example, my routine in the morning is, and for a long time it's been, I wake up, like I take my little shower here. Unfortunately, we don't have cold water because it's Bali. I do a little like a warm up, whatever, and then I go straight to the recovery center where we have cold bath. So I dip in only about 1 minute. I feel like it gives me like a really nice boost of doing my training. So I go do my like boxing or Muay Thai. Then after that, I go usually for swim. Yeah. So obviously after Muay Thai, it's kind of nice getting in the shower. And then I go for another little dip in a cold bath. You can't even call it just like a cold therapy. It's just a little dip. Okay. Then I swim. And then I do a little session of sauna, cold bath. So now one of the biggest things is probably to understand, like for people who train who are athletically active, so they've been told that cold bath helps them to recover, right? And sauna as well, and it's like complementary. So about, for example, my morning routine, what would you say, like maybe I should do differently, maybe I should add something, take away something? It
sounds pretty good and it works for you probably, but what I always say, that cold can heal you and cold can kill you. Again, you have to understand why you're doing this, what you want to get out of it. So it's about that awareness, self-awareness, what's happening in the moment, what you've done prior to that, and where you're going. So if you did, when you're waking up in the morning, you want to wake up those systems to go into action, right? So you want to do some nervous system activation. So when we sleep during the night, a lot of things happen. It's a lot of regenerate, right? So the body is more in a position where not a lot of movement happens. So the blood is thicker, so the movement is less. The cells were in the kind of position that it vibrates, but it's not so much. So you want to raise it up. So what I do in the morning, and it's not that you have to do this way because your routine works obviously, but I do some conscious breathing. So
I do breathing as well in the morning after I have a little bit of water and whatever, and then I just lie in my bed and just do the Wim Hof concept as we talked before.
Yeah, and I do straight away. I don't drink, I don't nothing.
You're just in your bed.
I'm waking up, it's around 6 o'clock in the morning, and I just do it in the bed, and I do as many rounds as I feel.
What is your wife
good.
saying when you do?
She's waking up before me, and she does a different routine. She does some walking, running in the morning. She's enjoying herself.
She doesn't do the breathing with you?
She does not, but she does in a cold, warm exposures. She breathes a lot in there, so she does the practice. Yeah, so she saw my journey, and she's all into this.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Also, your wife. She's like all the time with you doing stuff. It's amazing.
She's such a support in that time, and now she's dealing with her own things.
Give it up for Rita. Yeah. How many years you guys been together?
Wow, 2000 and let's see, 2003 or 2?
2003 or 2.
Can you
Jesus
imagine?
Jesus Christ. 20
I started in Academy of Sports in the second year.
It's like 23, 22 years.
Yes.
You guys going to have 25 anniversary soon.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Man.
Wow.
Yeah. And we don't feel this way.
That's awesome.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, we were hanging out yesterday. We were playing pool together.
Amazing. Yeah. Good time.
Awesome. So she has a different routine, and
so I do. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No,
so I do this breathing, conscious breathing, few rounds of this where you ventilate. You kind of get it deep, but I do very slow, calm version of it, right? So I don't force. I don't have this very fast, right? So when the alertness is too high, so I give just a nice feeling to have my body more alkaline. Yeah. So get the acidity ratio and alkalinity a bit better. So my blood becomes more lighter, flows better, faster. So I feel lightness.
Light. As example, so you would go.
Yeah, I go through the nose. I get.
And then you would do how many times?
And I can play with the speed a little bit. So start very slow and then a bit faster. As I go 30, 40, sometimes more.
And then you hold your breath.
I exhale and I hold my breath. And it goes 2, 3, 4 minutes.
And how many rounds of that?
1 to 3, 4 rounds.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, it can be.
How you feel.
It can be 5 and up to 20.
Wow.
Maybe sometimes.
And your
30
wife is like
minutes.
done with the breakfast, the chores, and everything. Is like, you still breathing, you motherfucker?
Yeah. But it's again right now when I'm in a Bali trip, I haven't done it.
Yeah.
So I just walk around and breathe more consciously sometimes during the day.
All the Bali pollution.
Yeah.
Much better. So that's your breathing in the morning. What's next?
So cold shower.
Just a normal cold shower.
Cold shower. I have no coffee, no nothing. So you go in straight in the cold.
The same thing in the UK as well.
Yeah. So straight in the cold. Then with the children, I wake them up, preparing for school.
Stick them in a cold shower.
No, we're not doing that. Although they follow us. So the little one, she was 4, I was saying.
Yeah.
So she was just going in freezing cold water and just like everyone else like this. It's dangerous. It's going to kill the kid, you know. No. It's all good. They're all fine. So no forcing. The kids just follow. So after that, I do some training, workout. And that can be the body weight. It can be with the weights. So giving the stuff.
Calisthenics, I see your videos.
Yeah. So, and I work with the clients. So you just work. And during the day, it depends. What kind of a day, you know, what happens, what kind of stressors is there. But I breathe consciously once, like periodically. So you take deeper breaths, you know, more conscious. Sometimes I hold my breath. Sometimes it can happen that I don't know, some toxins or stuff like that. And you have some kind of headache. And
what about how often people should do that? How often people should be doing saunas and how often people should be doing cold baths?
Yeah, that also, again, very good question. You start somewhere and you will do like things that people say to try. You will start somewhere with some kind of a timing. You will start days, whatever. But you will find eventually that internal sense, like what you feel, what's condition, what you need, how much you need, so how often, how long. But for me, I would say start progressively and go with the waves. So go in. Suggestion very simple. If you start with a cold, start with a cold as much you can tolerate. What feels cold for you? Right.
No, but I'm more talking about like how many days a week. Let's say I go to sauna every day, twice a day. Yeah, is that too much?
I'm in contact with a cold every day. It's a cold shower.
Yeah.
But sauna and cold, like a longer session, it's a once a week.
Just once a week.
Just once a week, and sometimes it can be even like once in 2 weeks.
So is it bad to have every day?
Yeah, you have to see what happens with the functions. It's hard to answer. Some people, it's like going in a training. If you do every day the same, stimulate the same muscles, eventually, how long are you gonna last, right? So you have no time for that regrowth, repair, regenerate.
I get that one. That one is very simple for me. Like obviously, if you've done like specific,
but that's the same.
Growth, and then
you can overwhelm the system.
In sauna, you see, in sauna, I just go I go very short periods. Like this morning, I'll do my routine, jump in a cold bath, just because I feel better. Then I do sauna, just I don't know, maybe 10 minutes, and then I'm done. And then now after this podcast, I'm going back to do my sauna thing. Yeah. I go for a little swim, little sauna, little cold bath. For me, it's like a ritual, almost like just taking the cold shower in the morning. Yeah, so I don't even look at it anymore like, oh yeah, I'm pushing myself or any of that shit.
Exactly. So you can do this as long as it's you're not working on a higher level. So you can, and I'm looking into the work. If the cold doesn't scare me, this is not work. I should be like it's not like a scared, I'm afraid all the time and anxious too much, right? But you have to be that. This has to be to the point that, I don't want to go in. It's gonna be cold. I will be I need to work through to neutralize that cold. And if it becomes comfortable for me, that's a routine. That's just empty routine. Exactly. So I need to find some challenge, right, in that area, also with the cold. So that's why my steps are I'm diving in, right? Sometimes I'm finding some other places. So it's just you find yourself what are you used to already, and what you need to change to have that work. So through that work, I'm stimulating that mind thing, right? So I need to learn how to quiet myself down. My breathing will be much better, functioning much better. And my movements in general, because I will have this satisfaction afterwards. I will have that all that release of hormones much higher. So if I'm used to that, I need to find a next level. So yeah, and I think the cold always is cold. It will never, but it can be to the point that like we were going into that, so I don't feel it too much. Like for me it would be routine, just like brushing my teeth.
Yesterday we went to sauna and cold bath where we met up in Bali here, and now that even I can say that water is not cold anymore. The only time it's decent, they're around 5-6 degrees Celsius when you come early in the morning. Because like there's like 1,000 people go through that shit. So,
but it's a huge difference. Like even the 4 or 5 degrees in the winter time when it's a wind in Norway, and here, for example, in the Bali, the same temperature will feel completely different.
Of course.
So first, you take off the clothes. It will be, oh man, this is already a challenge. So the thing is that you train your body to the level when you're even thinking about that process makes you oh damn, right? This is the work. So here I'm shutting it up, right? So I am going in. I'm not minding too much. I'm using that function to have a good, clear neurology in the body so that I can survive or go through that stressor. So, and the body, again, is the machine. It's a very intelligent. It learns pretty fast. It downloads everything in the environment to protect you. It has just 2 modes, like safe mode and danger mode. So, and when you put yourself like consciously through that danger mode, the body next time knows what to do. So even now, when I'm thinking that I will go in a freezing cold water, my body does variety of activities that protects already. So it knows, okay, we're gonna go in. And I do conscious work, and unconsciously body helps me. Unexperienced person can die even very fast in that, what I do now. But it's just you go like progressively to that.
What do you would say? It's great that you kind of mentioned about unexperienced people who does that. So Wim suggests to warm up your heart with the cold water. Is that the thing or no?
I haven't heard about that.
So it's basically like before you dip in the water. So I think it was Wim, maybe not. So it was like to put water instead of just dipping in cold, you just put like massage your body. So then apparently one of the things what can happen if someone is like real inexperienced bodies, then it freaks it out. So you could actually have a heart attack.
Yeah.
So that was
so what I do, because I have people that come really, they're scared.
Yeah.
I cannot do this, but they come somehow. They're coming because everything else doesn't work, and a friend says that you need to try this one. This is a crazy guy. He will show you something you never done. So what I do, I just because of studying the human physiology, so you understand where are more the thermoreceptors. So you have in your hands, you have in your feet, and you have in your face, your head.
What about the balls?
You don't feel them anymore, so there's not so much. It's okay, but they're very adaptive. So, all right, it's all good with them. So what I do, I ask them to contact all those areas. So first, you're not going in all the way, so you just have your hands a little bit inside. You have a little bit around your face and here around the neck.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so the body already. Okay, this is going to be difference in temperature. So right,
doesn't freak out.
Yeah. So now, okay, and we are never forcing, so we're going slowly, progressively, as far as you can. And I'm going with the person that is more scared, and we breathe together. So we breathe very deep, very slow exhale, very deep. And the person suddenly notices it's up here, and it's up here. So it's standing and just breathing. Maybe hands are outside. Eventually it stands inside and enjoys himself. So
one of the tips, what I liked when you mentioned when we were sitting in the sauna, you said like people usually inhale when they're getting in the water, but you should be exhaling.
They're closing because they're trying to protect, like contracting, right?
So you basically, as you're stepping in the cold water, you should be.
That's what you learn. Yeah, when a stressor comes to you, you use the breath to influence the nervous system, and when you are able to get a deep breath in and exhale long, your parasympathetic is in a high gear. So now you are calming the nervous system down and saying, all right, it's okay. It's okay. So we can last, we can go, right? So, and when you're stepping all the time, you're just controlling this movement, getting more in and out. So that's just a process, very simple process, but you can feel it straight away. And I've been experimenting with this so much, right? So going inside in the water when I'm breathing outside and then taking air in and holding on inhale and going in, like holding myself like through, you can feel the difference like straight away. It's like I'm with the pain and it's not closing so well. It's not helping.
But in general, that concept of, I also told you about how growing up in countryside next to a river, so boys would like swim, we get out, and I could see that someone who is tensing and clenching their teeth, you can see that they're all shivering. And even then I said like, just relax. And then it's so much better.
But it's so easy to say. And that's it. So
well, but I was showing the example.
Here's your practice. Yeah, but that's true. That's very, very true. And then my job is to see to that what's happening, right? And so to guide and say, oh, okay, now we do this and this and very simple things that person can do, because I want to the person goes out of this experience with things to do. So they need to do the practice, because it will happen with everyone that they're coming in, they have this wow moment, right? So, oh yes, this is it. Then they're going away and they're back in traffic. They're back in old life. Mindset the same, the habitual things, right? So, and people around and stuff like that, and the activities they do, and need to remember what it is, and what's the formula, and they think that outside of them is something that helps more.
So for someone who is just kind of thinking about getting into this, like what would you say are the best, like the most important benefits from the cold water therapy? And then obviously cold water therapy goes hand to hand with sauna, because sauna literally just extends the 100%. That kind of impact of like the temperature change and the shock which you need for your body. So if I would just give you like literally give me 5 or whatever like main points, why would people need to do this? Go.
It improves functions. That's the main thing.
Functions,
that is the functions. I was so bad with my health that all that blah 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 shit I was not interested in. So give me a thing to do to get better with the function. So what works, right? What job I have to do to get well?
So functions, as you would say, like physical primary functions.
Physical primary functions where you have a bit conscious influence. So you can do something, right?
Right.
So those you develop through that practice.
What's next?
That's the most important. So out of that, you have all the things you do improved. So you can sleep better now. So your recovery is going to be better.
Right.
So your ability to move, that will be improving. So if you had some kind of lack, right? So injury or stuff like that, through that practice, it will start to open the doors for the movement. And the movement is necessary for every cell. If it doesn't move every day, all the time, you're just going down, spirally going down. That's a life. So, yeah.
What about the mental kind of capacity?
That's a primary function.
I know. So you would. When you say primary function, it's a bit confusing. So what do you mean what is under primary functions umbrella? So it's a actual physical movement of your body, right? Like breathing, like everything. What do you do, right? Yeah. Movement. So and then the mental you would put also as a primary function.
Ability to think is a neurological function, and it is almost similar to the breath. So you can take some kind of conscious control over it, right? So you can breathe unconsciously, autonomously it's called, and you can take conscious control over it. You can think consciously. You can, all right, this thought is shit, I'm not thinking this thought, right? So I can pick and choose the thoughts.
So you're better with like...
You learn the focus. It's a focus thing, right? So, and the better focus, the better neurological activity in the body. So you can... you can have a better focus, right? So the mind thing, also you can inhale and hold your breath. You can exhale and hold your breath. And the same with the mind, right? So you can don't think. How many people practice state of being of not thinking? It's so hard because we are meant to think, right? So when you wake up, it's like conscious activity.
I have no problem not to think.
Yes, and that's a thing. When I was so bad with my health, I had so... destructive thoughts. It was like it was messing me up. Not just like a depressive ones, but I could not stop thinking. It was more giving that harmful activity in the body, and I felt I need some help. I was going to psychiatrists. I was like, oh, help me, give me activity that helps me with this mental state.
Right.
So nothing than cold and warm. So because that's a stimulation that asks you to be focused on that thing with the physical senses, right? And it wakes you up in a level that you're not able to overthink. If you're thinking there, you're just out.
Yeah, because the thing is like all your like a primer kind of receptors or primer
they are busy
things coming in, because all you don't care about like where did you park your car or like did you turn the oven off or whatever when
and
you're
even
at the
that
house,
disease
because you're in this freezing cold. You think about surviving, so survival instincts are turning in much stronger.
So the main thing I in the beginning when we go and start this event or session is to focus on the breath. So you connect those primary functions. So if I ask you now to start to breathe more consciously and no minding, just get the breathing. You start to think, you breathe more actively. Your eyes, your vision, you see from side to side and you breathe actively. You are not able to think. Right. You're just being. And being is ability to communicate the brain and the body at the most. Now you're living. Now you're being in an active state of being.
But I think this is also with the physical activities, like when I do martial arts, when I do all those things, that's also like kind of
in the moment
deviates people from who are athletes and who are not, because like we literally turning our brain off. Because now I'm thinking like not getting punched in the face, so I'm not doing this trick. Like I don't know if you ever had that in the past, or maybe you did since you broke your neck while you did the backflip. Sometimes when you do the flips, like I've done this in the past, and because I've done the trampolining a little bit like advanced level, so you would go and you do like a double backflip or like a twist or whatever. You sometimes go up and you forgot what you're supposed to do.
You blank.
And you just go blank. And all of a sudden you go, and just fell down almost in your neck.
You have to rely on what you have told the body.
So you have to concentrate on like what you do
in the moment.
Because if you think about like again, did I leave the oven on? Like then you're gonna break your neck.
So they're present.
So let's have a break.
Blah blah blah. Renars podcast.
So this is the our third part. We always have a little bit of fun with this. Well, and just to like spice things up, we do
Something like this.
Oh, damn. I'm even better than you.
So when you have that voice, what do you think straight away? Are you big and strong or?
It is a big guy, yeah, rough,
No.
experienced. Give me more.
So that would be your voice. How easy do you think it would be to use it?
Very hard, very slow. So, yeah, everything is so cool. No, this is too much, I can say. I could not live with this.
Turn me back.
Yeah, here you go.
Oh man, it feels so much faster, lighter.
Yeah.
Oh my.
And then like when I do my little
Squeaky voice is just like, because annoying, I can hear my actual voice and then this voice
Yeah, it's like
goes
double.
up.
double voice. No, enough with one. Okay. So more or less we were like just discussing like, do we want to talk about anything else, anything in specific? But I think we covered like the biggest points. It's, you know, the your life story, which is, you know, it's crazy inspirational and about someone saying like, well, I have this issue. There's no one can help me. No doctors can help me and give me the magical pill. What do I do? So this is one of the options, or probably the greatest option there is to do these type of things. And it was funny when earlier I was asking, so what things does it change? And you're like, all functions. It's like, but give me 1, 2, 3. No, all functions. And it's crazy. It's literally in like everything gets like on steroids, or like everything gets better.
Everything. You just start to grow. It's just in a process of homeostasis, and that's the process when the body builds up and breaks down evenly. Like not evenly. You eventually you're dying. You know, you're growing. But it's able to get back on a normal physiological level where you are able to function through the day well. Everything you can see, you far, close, everything. So whatever.
And this practice is good for everyone. It's good for like
everyone that has those senses, those systems in the body. Because they are needs to be stimulated. We are a part of the bigger organism, right? So as I see it, I can speak from my understanding. So you have a job to do here. So you are a breather. So how well you breathe.
I can't take you serious. Take those glasses off.
So
I just look at you, and they're like, "Oh, and you put it on top of your actual glasses." You weirdo. But what I was trying to say, like anyone, like the age is not a really, you know, there's no difference, or not difference, but that's not a problem. Also, you mentioned earlier, like your 5-year-old daughter, she goes with you and all that stuff. Have you ever heard that the practice in Soviet Union, and I'm pretty sure that in Scandinavian countries maybe they did as well, but back in the days they would have a kindergarten kids go outside the kindergarten and just in the snow, and they would pour like super cold water on them, because they knew from long time that they boost the immune system. It reduces and creates that, and that's what I always knew. Like I didn't know about protein like some shock or whatever. No, I thought if you can withstand like cold or very hot, you're literally just getting stronger. And your immune system
you do the hard
is
stuff and you get better with it.
Yeah.
So if you're not overwhelming the systems, because you can push too hard, and then you are going into the hormetic stress, in oxidative stress. So hormetic is when you are stimulating the body to the point that it's able to recover. Right. So it's an impulse that it's enough for next step to grow. But when it's oxidative, so that the cell is breaking down, it's surviving now. The other structures needs to help now, but the process is not improving you. The appropriate exposure is when you are able to recover. That's the warming up, all the stuff, you're feeling well, and the stuff you want to come back and you want to do it again. So those feedbacks or feelings are very good. So you can be overwhelmed. You can do too much. You can be like, oh yeah, but they said need to do 3 times and blah, 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 and all that stuff. And I barely survived that last time. I don't want to go again. So that is you're not listening to your individual uniqueness, right? right? So in your body, and you're not working with the functions to improve. So you are now in a stage where you are just listening to information outside of you and you're testing things. So that's still in a process, and we all have this, right? So yeah, but I also see, and still in Norway, my kids were in a kindergarten. They were outside in the winter time in Lofoten, and they were sleeping outside when they had this like a time when they need to sleep a bit, right?
So have a nap.
Yeah. They were pushed outside. They were staying there. Whatever kind of weather, doesn't matter. So
yeah, because they know from like their experience that's gonna make
it's open
them stronger and everything.
So they breathe better. The immune system is a bit better. So because the weather there is rough. It's anyway. If you're gonna live there, you will not escape it. So better you do this way and do gradual progression from early age. So then you're gonna be more resilient.
Yeah, that's and it's so important as well, like for kids to get exposed to that stuff. And I was like, when I was a kid, I remember like one time I would go from the sauna and we had like quite deep snow, and I literally just dove into it thinking it's gonna be nice and soft.
Oh, it's sharp.
No. What happened was it's outside in the garden, so underneath was frozen soil.
Oh damn!
So I literally scraped my face, my chest on that.
That was not lucky.
I ran back to sauna, and my dad was like, "Oh my god," he's like all fucking bleeding.
Yeah, that not a good experience maybe to start with. Yeah, but shit happens.
More snow. Okay, so now on this spot we're talking about also books, movies, and people. And since we're talking about the books, you are an author of your own book.
Yeah.
And the title was On the Other Side.
From the other side.
On the other side, I like that.
From the other
side, yeah. So you published it 5 years ago now?
2020. Yeah.
2020, and and it's only in Latvian language. And I'm giving you shit that you need to do it in English.
Every time I see you and talk with you, it's almost every time. So you did it?
Because like, listen, Latvian language is going to take you as far as 1.8 million is going to take you. And it's probably even less like how many people are actually going to be listening or reading. Yeah. But I really want to encourage you to get it in English for the reading option, like for Kindle, and also for the audio version. But you said straight away, like, but you already have many more things to add to it. Yeah. So that means you need to write another one in Latvian.
Almost a new book. And also about that translation, right? So what I was telling you, you can lose some main things
that's
through translation.
True, but you should take the risk, you know?
Definitely. We are all about that. So the new ways and skills and stuff like that. So I need to dedicate the time to that because the book takes time. That was a true experience. I was never into this. I will write a book, because some people are. They just it's a dream to publish the book. For me, it wasn't that way. For me, it was that experience, and I was thinking the ways how I can organize more that experience and to share with the people and leave again with the practical things they can do. And the book is a very much practical instrument or tool, because it's written from both sides. So it shows that polarity as every cell,
the word of the day,
as the warm
polarity.
And cold, and perception of reality, and the change of the perception of reality. That's why the book starts as usual, right? So you read and open from the right side to the left, and you read to the point where I ask you to change the book and turn it around, and now you read it from the left to the right. And a lot of people straight away, why? What's the point? You want to be just I pay attention, right? So blah blah blah, and all that noise starts in the mind, and that shows that old programming, right? So and when you read that book, and you often flip it around suddenly, or you open next time you come with the book, and where was it? And oh damn it, I need to turn it and flip it around, and it presents and shows that practical thing what you need to do to shift that internal mental programming for you to get better or change. So because if you go back, change means you never go back. If you go back in old patterns, your nervous system remembers that disease, what you developed during that time when you were sick. So if you don't teach the body to feel and do things differently, it's not going to change. And that's in a deeper levels. For me, it was 100% the case. If I would be with the same mindset like that, a sportsman, right, and doing the I will be more injured. So that's what I'm saying. I will be doing the same. I'm going to the doctor, blame the doctor and blah, 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 looking outside of me and breathing the hell, cold, what the hell, all that stuff.
Just basically making the same mistakes.
Making the same mistake, going spirally the same direction.
That's the point.
So, but here, I would just put everything in a book and show the practical thing, right? So make that, or why, for example, why you should read now and learn from the other side, right? And all that information there. So I was explaining and telling about my story in that first cover. It was in a black. So you read all about that condition, about all the symptoms and doctors and stuff like that. And then it's the other way around. My point of view about the human physiology, the practical thing about that warm and cold, the breathing and stuff, and practical points. Hey, if you do this, it stimulates that kind of system. Try this out. Start this point, and you will see where to go next.
All I hear from all of this is you need to write another one.
Yeah, right.
And then translate it in English.
So that's what I do when I teach the people in person. But the book is
because also the book is kind of the way I look at it. It's a kind of compiled like the knowledge and wisdom what you accumulate in a certain period of time. And the greatest thing about the books is that I definitely think you should write more and more, and like maybe not every 2, maybe every 5 years to have another book with the idea that you always can look back how you grown, what you learned. That's the way I look at the podcasts. Like right now, this is the podcast 66, I think.
Oh.
And then like to compare how it was my first or my second podcast.
Amazing.
So for me, like I think like quite a lot of people told me to write a book as well, like because like I had quite crazy experience, whatever.
You definitely do.
But
I
then,
admire your work. That's
stop it,
brother.
Oh, stop it. But the same time, I'm like in general, I definitely would consider doing it, but I know it's a huge challenge for me to write things. Like speak to me is way more natural, and again, it's easier. But just because it's easier doesn't mean that I shouldn't be doing it. That's 100%. You know.
Yeah.
So basically, we both
journey.
listen. If you write a second book, I will write my book. How about that? We shake on this.
Okay, let's do it. You hold me. I will hold you, and you hold me.
Shit, I gotta get in trouble. No, but you have to be you have to be the first one.
Oh, why?
You're
You're
so.
you have your podcast, so you're deciding.
That's the
Oh man, yeah, that was experience. Pretty hard. It's not so easy as I was thinking. To
you thought it was gonna be easy?
Not like easy, but okay. What is it? Like you just write, and you sometimes sit down and you cannot. To put and then you come back and read it through and no, and then again. So it was a routine actually in one way. It's a work. I was giving a lot of time for that, and then working with the publishers and everything. It's for me it wasn't easy. So
right. But you see again now for the next book is going to be easier because you already know, you're familiar.
Now I know a lot of things that
this is one of my kind of philosophies. It's all about just doing it, and next time is going to be easier.
Yeah,
with anything,
learning in the process.
With anything, it's crazy. Like again, this setup for this podcast is the second time that I'm doing here. Today it was so much easier. Like I already knew where like what's this. I was just like boom, and next time is going to be even easier and easier. And that's with anything, right?
Yeah, I was amazed when I saw all this. So
Stop it. So
impressive.
Books and. Then your book, was there a specific thing happened that you were like, oh, I need to write a book? What happened?
No, as I was saying, I was looking for the ways how to share that information because I was thinking, okay, now I'm so good, and I can do much more if I will be able to help at least one person,
right,
without being present. So if we take that instrument like tool and read a book and do stuff, practical thing, and improve, damn. Right, so without me being there, so that's a blessing, And I had a lot of feedback from that, from Latvia, a small country, right? So and still, once in a while, I have this.
What kind of feedbacks did you get?
You're so wise and stuff like that. But of course, I'm always saying it's not about me, it's about you and your functions. You just do the thing and it just responds. But a lot of compliments, a lot of the things, journey, the support and stuff like that. You're being through a lot and a good job and stuff like that. Support.
Because in Latvia in general, the sauna culture is pretty big. And not only that they have saunas, but they also the education. Did you know that they have like kind of a schooling for sauna masters? Like a friend of mine, she did it, and then she and her husband, they had like this, they were able to afford to build a really nice sauna with a swimming pool with everything. Yeah. And she basically invited me to on the sauna session. And she would be the sauna master, doing with everything. Yeah. So the branches, like the stone therapy and the massages, aromatherapy.
I do it as well, a little bit from that. So I combine all those practices. That feels, and I feel the sense from those practices, and I take out of the things that I don't feel make sense.
And she literally has a certificate that she graduated.
I know.
Thing.
I know.
So do you know how many years? What is it?
No clue. I don't know. I just know that there.
I know, but I don't know.
I've heard about it, and I know that people are with the certificates and they're working the competitions even there in a sauna thing. So
the best sauna master.
Yeah.
What do you like here? Anytime in the Western countries, and I try to explain them about the birch trees. That birch tree. What do you call them?
But it's an oak tree too. That's the king of the trees.
Yeah, you can also like mix them. You can do all sorts of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So. Tell me, what is the main reason for doing these massagey smacks against each other?
Besides of the aromatherapy, because it opens everything out and you can breathe, your respiration improves, right?
Because you do the, like a light massage.
You have a steam. We use a steam sauna. You have that humidity, and it opens the leaves, and it just becomes more alive. That fresh inhale, right? So you breathe better. Yeah. So that's important. It's a function. So and pain receptors. Once you have starting with the skin, work with the skin, it starts to stimulate the pain receptors.
Like a massage, pretty much.
It is a massage.
But like just with a massage.
And you can play with that and have intensity. You have the rhythm. You have the strength and everything.
I always find myself in such a funky situation when I try to explain that we smack each other with the branches, with leaves. And they're like, what?
I know. And in Norway is the same. They kind of, someone has seen and heard about that.
But they mainly have dry saunas there, right?
Yeah. So
like Sweden as well?
Sweden as well, yeah. So there are a lot of floating saunas now on the sea. So that's a very popular right now. And that's great. You jump in a cold, but that's mostly, again, you're heating up, you come in the sauna, heat up unto the point that it's too hot, and then you jump in, like cool down, jump in.
I'm curious about which countries are actually doing this whole leaves branch smacking thing. So Russians, they do that.
Russia,
so most of the
Latvia,
Slavic countries?
Yes, Slavic countries. Yeah. It's a traditional thing.
So then the Nordic countries, they're not really into that. Because like Swedes, they're like the godfathers or the
in Finland, something is
of
mixed.
The dry sauna, right?
Yeah. But in Finland also there's a mix. I've seen, it's a borderline with Russia, and a lot of people are in and out and they're mixing, right? So they're taking this with. But mostly the Slavic countries.
Because now I'm wondering, is like maybe Norwegians and Swedes don't do that as much because they can't get those branches, like those trees. They can?
There is everything. So and you don't need exactly the same as in Slavic countries.
It could be any tree, right?
So again, it's understanding about physiology.
That's crazy.
So stimulation of the body, and it gives the rush and the blood. You know, when you go in a cold, the systems protect you, and it closes the veins and arteries in your extremities, right, in your limbs, and it sends blood in the core because those organs are obviously more important to survive. And then when you go in the warm sauna, it's just the opposite, right? So it flushes out and mixes that blood, and you help that surface with the branches and all that stimulation to that blood flow, the nerve cells and everything to communicate. Everything is like higher vibration, so very active. So all cells wakes up to do the job. So that's a very very, very sensitive activity that people again has a very fast connection with. This shit, yeah, and they start to do them themselves.
I mean, like for me, the Western sauna, the dry sauna, it's so boring. You just sit there and like there's nothing happening.
Trend. That's with everything. The same Wim Hof method. I'm sorry to interrupt. No. You can do it just because of everyone else is doing it, and you're missing the point.
But the only thing is like the dry sauna is not going to be good because we need the moisture, we need the humidity, and we need steam, right?
Yes.
So like, how do you think we could, have that trend push further with the branches and stuff like?
That's a very interesting question. I probably don't have an answer. So I do my best to introduce people, to show them, and to talk about that. And feeling again is that feedback, that understanding. So a lot of people just need to try.
But do you know when I messaged you? When did I message you? And then you told me that you're gonna come to Bali. Was it like, or you messaged me first saying that you're gonna go?
I was asking you, are you still here? Because we had this in a plan in mind.
I know what happened. I thought, and one day I was just thinking about how cool it would be to have like our type of saunas, like with the steam, with the branches and everything.
Yeah.
2 days later, you messaged me.
You see?
That's what happened.
Amazing.
And then I was like, fuck, like Uldis totally should come and open and start doing the business here, like open like a sauna. Because like I actually asked a couple of Bali friends here, and I was like, is there like a typical Russian whatever, like a Eastern European sauna? They did say that it is, but like listen, we opened 2 massage places. Just because there's like 100 other places doesn't mean you can't open your own.
Yeah, for sure.
So what I'm thinking, obviously there's no time anymore, but like what I could do, probably I could do a little marketing research and find out what they have here.
Yeah. We're having a plan now.
So the business plan. Exactly. Like,
using the time.
That's what it's about. But like, I think it would be beautiful to, do the stuff, but obviously then you would need to come here and spend more time here and stuff like that. But then you could train the people and all that, and that would be something cool.
Oh, that's the same what I do now. So why not to do in a place where a lot of international... the
only thing what I was laughing about is like, because here the policy is like that you need to hire only locals.
Yeah.
Do you know what locals think about people who go to sauna?
No. Haven't.
Fucking idiots.
Yeah,
because like
so why? It's just a paradise.
Yeah.
The heat, warm.
The Indonesians, they're like, it's already hot. You go in hotter?
Yeah.
You stupid fuck.
So make it double? Why?
Even sometimes when you see like in Wanderlust where we go to sauna, like if you see people just passing by like locals, like and we sitting in sauna, they're like,
what's the sense? What's the thing?
They have they don't understand what's going on. Okay, before we go into books and movies, anything else? Probably forgot, but we'll see in the end. So books, you mentioned to me, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself.
Yeah.
Just about the title, I'm pretty much it's straightforward. Yeah.
Straightforward.
And then you were born rich. This very sounds like rich dad and poor dad, but that's not the.
It's not it.
This is more about health stuff, right? Like you were born rich.
You were born rich is about your inner potential, right? So your unlimited sources of human being, and again about that mind, the mental thing, what we often take for granted and don't practice so much, not aware of it so much. And we only ask questions when we have a problem.
Yeah, when shit goes down.
When shit goes down so badly that you're not able to think properly now, and then you try to fix it.
Yeah, but in your case, it was quite different though. It's like you had an issue, and it's not like you were not aware that you should be in a good health, whatever. You were in a good health. You're probably one of the 0.001% who was in like really good shape, but your issue
I was pushing over
was more about that you were ignoring those things that were happening, and also ignoring and trying to get a solution from the people who have scalpels and
yes, and I was very unconscious of a lot of things, so it was going randomly, unconsciously. So at one point I just pushed over the line. So and harmed myself to such a degree, right? So that I was not able to do stuff anymore. And when you are a superhuman and everything is okay, and suddenly not okay, and you cannot do the stuff where you felt very strong and good. There the mental thing comes in, and here this one helped me, like, hey, damn, I have a system and a function like a mind, and what is it, how to structure all that information and make everything like in order for you to understand how to use it. So that was something I was listening a lot, like Bob Proctor is the guy that wrote that book, and it's a lot of things that not very to the point. A lot of about the wealth and stuff like that, money, and but everything is because to attract attention. So people start listen to that, and then somehow slowly it goes to the core of it again. So you understand it doesn't even matter. So you understand the principles, you understand the system work. And once you start to understand the system work, again, you have some tools to use and practice. So it helped me to become aware of a function, primary functions such as mind. So focus and everything, and combine everything again with all those other practices and thermotherapy.
Nice. I hope I will have time to read it. And then we have obviously the Wim Hof method.
I had to mention because
I did listen to his. I think I listened to this one. Yeah, there's a couple books I was listening about, and in this book also he was telling the story how it happened that his wife committed suicide.
Exactly.
And then he was so lost, and then he started getting into water, and then
he was already into that, but there he take it to the next level. Yeah.
All this. So speaking about Wim Hof, what do you think about, like, because even though I do believe to a lot of these things what we're talking about and stuff, but the idea to climb Mount Everest in shorts and sandals or bare feet, like, was it sandals?
I think it's hard to. It's slippery. So he used the sandals.
And topless.
Yeah, topless.
Did he climb the whole thing?
No, to the dead zone, to the
level, whatever. Which is.
But anyways,
insane.
that's very challenging for a human organism.
And what about when he did, like, he infused himself with some kind of like bacteria and some disease or whatever, and then he fought it. Like, what did you thought about that?
That was opportunity given to him somehow because he's from Netherlands, and they did those experiments in Netherlands. So, and I don't remember, I was listening to that story, but somehow all the roads came to offer, and there was already over 1,000 people tested. And he was just like, okay, let's do it. Let's test me out. And
what happened with those 1,000 people? They all died?
Almost probably. So they were suffering with all those symptoms, from bacteria, and
it was just
basically there was was endotoxin, so that you have that flu type of symptoms. Like vomiting, headaches, and stuff like that, and for a couple of hours. But they were looking to the blood. They're more for the markers that shows can you make conscious difference. That was the point, right? So, and he was the first one that showed, hey, I do this, and the outcome is this. So, and not only that, because like one person did something after 1,000 years of practice, it doesn't count. So he trained some other volunteers. So,
and he's such a cool, weird dude. I like some videos.
As much as I've seen and listened to him, he's very light and a very simple guy.
Yeah.
So he's straight to the point. What you talking shit? Let's bring it on. Let's do activity and see and
weird in a good way. I like weird.
Weird.
You're weird.
Very
we all
positive.
weird.
Yeah, that's why I think he is where he is. He also has a journey, like experience, and he did really he turned it around with this practice. Although it's not like he's practiced, right? But the way he summarized the things, the way he was able to deliver, right? So the character of his, that's amazing, and we should listen to again the core of it, not maybe the Wim Hof. That's just me also, or whatever. It doesn't matter. Just listen to the.
Who else do you think is as influential or less influential than Wim, or like close to as influential as Wim regarding the cold therapy and stuff? Is there like, cause I don't hear many names.
No,
I know that Wim has brother who also goes, and he was here in Bali, and he also kind of does the same thing.
Yeah.
And
It's a twin brother.
Yeah, I even heard some like rumors or whatever that his brother actually was the one who started it.
Oh, I don't know.
The cold
I
stuff,
haven't-
and then he
never heard about
brought
that.
it up. Kind of.
I know. I listened from that book that he started when he was 17. So he went just inside because the cold was it was attractive for him. This was like maybe he was saying that he was a seeker. Like looking for what's out there, listening and reading, and very, very something is wrong in this society that
Just
he doesn't
curious,
fit.
yeah.
And the curiosity was so high that damn it, let's jump into the cold freezing lake, see what happens, right? So
Maybe he was overheating as well. Just like you.
in the cold winter time. I don't know, but maybe it has to be something outside. The nervous system probably was triggered with something. I don't know, but it looks like that he was like what people saying a little bit out of mind.
Yeah.
It's he's not normal. Like he maybe speaks or talks about shit and goes places nobody goes and
Well, nowadays-
outsider. We are not looking into this.
Yeah.
It's
But
crazy.
nowadays, those people called outside the box thinkers, which is a good thing.
and it's salute for those people and let's go. They're changing the things around.
Yeah,
so.
but there's no one else out there like as
haven't
Wim
heard,
Hof,
no.
anything.
There are
like
some people that are close, going and practicing and breaking his records and does longer cold exposures. Like, yeah, you can
It's
make
not
it
really
as a
about that,
sport.
is it?
Yeah, okay. So
It's more
it's
bringing
not
people
bad.
in.
Maybe as long as you don't harm the life, because I think in the core it's a life, and the purpose in life. What I found is life itself. So that's it. So if you're able to do things that improves the life, you're doing good job. And if you harm the life, so you kind of help that other side. That's part of it. But it's a breaking down. And if it's too much, we all break down because we are so much connected. We are in one system, right? We think I'm just one entity, but I'm a system. So yeah, I think it's about life, right? So organism in general. It's a huge organism, probably. I don't know. I'm a human being. I will never be able to test and prove something here in that kind of sense. But I think we are doing a job for a bigger organism to be alive. So yeah, like in a body, when you study internally inside of you, you can start to see similarities. So you have those like a blood cell is running through and does its job. You have a brain cell that does its job. So they don't travel so much like change, like a liver now is a brain cell and other. So every cell has specific function. And if it today says, oh no, it's a day off, I'm not coming to work. So you have a problem. And more of those cells are not working, so you're dying. So we are all the same. So if you do the good job with one cell and more cells, right? So
yeah.
it's
Then you
good.
get more
And
cells.
that's how, if you help another person, that's also a community of cells. So you kind of feel better. Somehow you feel
Oh, yeah,
better,
yeah, yeah.
right? But why is that? So that's again somehow the kind of sense, and that organism is rewarding you with that pleasure, right? So and you're doing what's right for this organism to be alive. So I feel this way.
Well, definitely, it's like there's from early age, I noticed it makes me feel so much better when I know that
Getting numb.
people around me are like happier. Like that's why I like to crack jokes, and that's why then afterwards I started
give and receive.
emceeing events, and then I start now I'm doing stand up or I'm doing other things. But it's amazing feeling. It's a drug when you make a joke and people are laughing and they have a good time. So and with a podcast or whatever, like if you can kind of influence someone and make their lives better, that's just beautiful.
Yeah, that's the nature of ours, I think, and one of the functions. So to share, and in the body is the same. Cells share information. Like for example, take the same main system, nervous system. That all communication. You when you are coming into this world, you have like a spider web with the cells, nerve cells. But once you start to be in specific environment, like that asks you to do specific things, it just start to make roads connection roads. It just takes out the unnecessary and combines those that's needed. So you start to walk. So it's connection, right? So that's the connection we have also as a human beings. We have a traffic, everything like moves a bit faster these days. So that's a nervous system also getting a bit faster, right? So what we say, what comes in, experiences and stuff like that, we need it. If you try not to do that when you're feeling great. So when you suppress, depressed, you're closing. When you are feeling great, you express, you're sharing. So that's a function. So, and use it well. So don't hold it inside. So just go. It did something good, helps you, share it. It's not your responsibility, like kind of, it's going to work or not work. The person needs to do his job.
Yeah. And especially like you said that your life basically turned by like whatever, it's 180 degrees, or like before that you thought, oh, I need money, like I would do this job, that job, whatever.
Yeah.
Then you get in trouble with your body and stuff, and you like feeling miserable and all this shit, and then you figure out the solution, or at least you kind of see at least the light at the end of the tunnel. And then you have this urge of like, oh my God, I want to share. I want to tell to other people. Yeah. And it's beautiful. And that's like one of the things what I like to do is about sharing the stories and inspiring people to change like their lives, about their career choices, about like choices in general. So there's just so many, whatever you feel like you are stuck and then you can't get a solution, there are possibilities, but the question is, what do you do about it? What kind of skills you use, or what kind of sources you use in order to get there, you know? And if we are in a dark cave where there's no help and there's nothing around, then we kind of fucked. But like we live in this day and age where there's so much, like there's too much. So that's a problem.
It can be overwhelming.
Yeah, that's overwhelming. But like to kind of figure out what is your direction and choose the right hashtags.
Yeah.
Hey, what's about that? Okay, so this is about the books and then movies. Oh no, we have people. Let's start like movies. Let's leave for the last one. So the guy you mentioned before, the American John Bergman.
Dr. John Bergman.
Yeah, he was
chiropractor.
He's the chiropractor, and like pretty much he kind of was one of the main reasons why you kind of get on that journey.
I saw how everything is connected, and he was telling me, oh, okay, this system, that system, what happened, oh, your condition, oh, your symptoms that nobody can explain. He explained the road, right?
Wow.
Oh, how it connects and what you should do to just turn it around. So that I was studying a lot, and I still do, because it's about the informative flow. You just stick to what works and repeat all the time. You're in that frequency, you know, in the channel. So I've learned and still learning a lot from him. So I strongly suggest to look into him.
Give it up. Oh, that's the voice. Give it up for John Bergman.
Yeah.
John.
Yeah.
You changed this man's life.
Yes.
How do you feel about it? Hallelujah. Then Wim Hof, we already talked about Wim. So he's a good old crazy chap from Netherlands who pretty much started this whole madness. He was like the pioneer of it.
Definitely.
And I think, and it's pretty crazy to think about, but he probably changed so many lives.
So many.
Dude,
you cannot
so
even
many.
imagine. So you cannot find all those souls.
Yeah, because like, you know, it's a ripple effect. Like he influenced like these people, and like someone like me. Then how many people I influenced for that, and you influenced, and
it just grows.
And that's beautiful. And then we have Bob Proctor.
That's the same. Bob Proctor is a You Were Born Rich author.
Oh, okay.
He's had the seminars. He was all about that mental mind thing, right? Kind of. That also is connected with all other systems, and just very interesting. I was starting to become aware of that primary function through him. And all about the importance of repetition, and how you use the focus, and what kind of faculties of the mind are there, and how you develop them, and some other type of channels like authors and what he was sharing. So very wise guy. He passed away, I think, 2022, if I'm not mistaken. So not so far. Not so long
and
ago.
repetitions, in the sense like being consistent with what you do. Is that
a lot of things, including the consistency? Yeah. So if you do the right thing, you'll be consistent. If you're doing not the right thing and being consistent with that, it's not going to be good.
Yeah.
So, but it's more about that. the system again and becoming aware where you are, what's your program today. So why you have the results what you have, right? So have you asked ever the question why and how? So because he was saying that we are taught what to think, you know, but we are never told how to think. So you have that system, but you never like ask, hey, where this is coming from. So can I think differently and do differently?
Yeah.
So
give a fish or.
So you have your kind of results. That's a mirror of what's going inside. So you're doing something to change what you are doing, right? So and you have like kind of a work. Once you have that target which you're working towards to, so you start to do the steps. So from him, I adapted a lot of things. So for example, the success, like what is the success? I'm never asking myself, have I ever defined what is this? How can I feel this successful if I'm never like I don't have a picture of what it is?
Yeah.
So once you have like kind of you understand the mind thinks in pictures. Okay.
Right.
What is the picture of this and this
so
and that?
Visualize, yeah.
And if you don't have it, so let's make it.
Yeah, so that's like very going to Arnie's like concept. Like Arnie was always saying about visualize.
Yeah.
And honestly,
and
like
feeling and visualizing.
Visualize.
Yes.
And then pump some
that's good.
What are you waiting
cannot
for?
do that.
No, 100%. Like I think a couple times in my life I've done this and it works, and like so I should just do more times of it.
It's more clear, you know. What's going on, and you don't have to do this all the time. It just sometimes you feel this is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So then you reset. You're like adjusting on the go. And then you have the direction. Then you can move. So if it's not happening with your life, with health, wealth, and other things, so maybe stop a little bit, ask the question, learn from people that do the thing, show the results.
100%. As a bonus, there's a Jackie Chan.
Yeah, for sure. There's a period of time when I was growing.
Yeah, because you were really excited. Like you were very inspired by Jackie. Like obviously when you did martial arts and stuff,
for sure.
And I think probably everyone. And like for me, he is biggest inspiration that he's also bringing that humor into fighting, right?
Because
there's so many like, including Jean-Claude Van Damme, who I'm like, I actually did work with him finally last year. Old geezer.
Amazing, you told so.
Yeah, but then like other like these action stars, they inspire you maybe in the movement or like how they execute the fighting. But Jackie, it's always turns like that comedy bit. It's funny. Yes. And one of my very, very favorite bits is that when he's on the roof of this parking lot, and this guy says, takes his pants off and says, "If you kiss my ass now, like,
hits him
dude, if you kiss my ass now, then you're gonna be forgiven and you can go."
Bronx, so the name.
Some gangs of something like he was protecting the shop, and there's gangsters are there, and he just breaks the antenna from the car, he just smacks him on the ass, and like those things is just amazing. So
for sure. Yeah, he that was an idol. I was looking how he moves, all that. Those tricks and stuff like that, and always that comedy at the end. I was waiting for that. Oh, what was going wrong? Like those parts where taking out from the movie, right? So that's very funny. That was so cool. No one was doing that.
No
one was doing that
behind the scenes or just bloopers.
Bloopers. Exactly. So I loved it. So he was giving me that, hey, go do it.
Amazing.
You know? Yeah.
Did you read his biography?
I've seen a lot, listened to, but I haven't read something.
Yeah, his childhood was very crazy. Like he was 9 years old, and his parents left him at the art school.
Yeah,
so
it's opera school or something.
Like opera, art, theater, all that shit.
Yeah.
So, and one of the crazy things I remember, like he said, like every day they would do their training, whatever. They need to do 1 hour handstand.
Damn.
1 hour handstand. Like
in total or
no, just like as far as I understand, with a one take, which is insane.
How the blood is okay.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe but even if they would do like 5 sets, it's still like each set. Because I can do handstands. Obviously, if I could do
minutes,
if I would do against the wall, then I can hold probably like 4 minutes, I think, maybe
and then
5.
you're pushing yourself.
And then if I do without the wall, I barely can do 2 minutes, like a minute and a half. You know,
I've done close to that also, like standing.
Just if you think,
just still.
Yeah. But anyways, Yeah, this guy is nuts, and now more and more in stunt industry, I meet people who work with him, who were in Jackie Chan team and stuff. And
All right.
But yeah, again, he's just a human who does what he loves doing. He's very passionate, very hardworking guy, and just beautiful.
Sure. It's just that energy you can connect from the person shares things he does, right?
Yeah.
And does very well, and the process of growing. So that inspires me. Like you see, I totally understand now in 42. Yeah. So he's just a human being that just stick to the thing and does the thing. So, but back then when I was growing, like just idol, you cannot reach.
And you see that you said thing, just stick to the thing. I think one of the biggest tasks for anyone is to figure out what is your thing.
Yeah, discover. Yeah.
Because dude, I know. And you see when you discovered your thing, because everyone just led to that. You can help someone. You do what you love doing. You already studied about physiologies. You like the thinking about figuring out human bodies and stuff, and you can help. And there's oh my god, you get so many connections there, and then you get this moment of epiphany. I just want to help. And 100%. Most likely, when you had that realization, you were not thinking about the money. You were not thinking about how I'm going to make a living.
I never do until this day. So it just comes. It's like the same with all that symptomatic thing, right, in the body. So if you mind about the symptoms, you're screwed. You mind about doing the right thing that stimulates the body for higher functionality, and then the symptoms eventually melts away because it's not necessary anymore. And the same with kind of external things like money. You do the right thing, do it very well and consistently.
It's gonna happen.
It just comes back to you because you do the good thing, right? Yeah. So it helps.
Hallelujah, brother.
Hallelujah.
Wait.
All right.
Hey. Yeah. And now the last thing what we have is the movies. Okay. So Wheels of Meals, Jackie Chan. Which one was that? Wheels of Meals, and that's a year when I was born, 1984.
Yeah, I'm 82, but
so you're not as cool as me. So
you have to look up on this movie. That's amazing. A lot of tricks there, a lot of fun
but
stuff.
What was it? Can you remind me? Because most likely I know it. What was it?
They were driving around with that truck that serves the food, right? So and there was a lot very good sequences with fight sequences with I don't remember. I will send you. You can look up.
Yeah, I can look it up.
So
I'm just trying
amazing.
Because I've seen most of his movies. I've just
I can put any of the movies, the older ones. I love those. There were younger guys, and it was interesting. It was coming in kind of the humor inside, but some of those sequences where they're fighting, it's so complex, so. It's intelligent. It's how they're putting this together, and it's to do those to perform. I don't know. I don't understand in one way.
I can explain it.
Yeah, you know the stuff. You're inside. So I'm very amazed. Still do. I still sometimes just looking in there.
But because it's so interesting, and it would be really funny to. One day, me and you, I could just if we have opportunity to have other stunt fighters and to show you how those things are. Because at the end of the day, if I would tell you it's easy, it's not. Sure. It's fake, kind of, but it's all about knowing the angles, knowing the movement. It is honestly the closest I could say you the fight choreographies in movies, what you see intricate fight choreographies, it's like dancing with the fighter's skills.
All right.
You need to know the beats. You need to know. And the craziest thing with a lot of people who were watching fights, they don't think about, the guys who the hero is fighting are amazing. They just think that the hero is amazing.
No, to make the other part. That's what makes the contrast.
That's the heart. No, but that's also, it's the reactions, the timing,
emotions.
The usual ones is the bad guy, Jason Statham is in the middle, or the good guy in the middle, and then all these baddies are attacking him. Yeah. Dude, the art behind timing is insane. So he needs to come in when this guy just get kicked away, when that guy was just grabbing for something.
That's what I'm saying.
It's all just that timing thing. And at the end of the day, when we start breaking and putting fights together, we do slow motion. We call it underwater speed. And we just go, whoa, reaching for this. That guy comes, I duck under. And then you basically increase the speed by 10, 20% and stuff like that.
Oh, that's amazing.
So that's
I've seen your stuff too, so as well, obviously. So and already the one with the Scott Adkins.
Yeah. When I was
that already is like getting in and having all those emotions. So how you show that, for example, you're in a pain or something, or you jump and hit yourself, and that is how you're doing this. So that's years of practice, and then I remember like my first fights were just so much worse, and you know, in a fight, when you're thinking about like the movement and stuff, then you kind of fucked. It's just like with acting, like if you think about what you're going to be saying, mind is wandering or whatever, like you really need to like know exactly what you're doing. But the thing is, you're stiff then.
But the thing is, like when you do it for a while, your brain just gets accustomed to learning certain moves quite quick. You know exactly how you're going to do the reaction. You know exactly how you're going to fall. Then it's just much easier.
Yeah. I see.
Then the other two movies you had Ip Man, which is obviously
also again that genre.
And that's and Ip Man 4. That's where Scott Adkins was playing the bad surgeon thingy, and they had a really cool fights there.
Yeah, I like all of them. Sorry to interrupt, but the first one also was very interesting. It was like kind of. A bit different than all other movies. It just had an impact that, hey, this is I want to hold on. I want to see the story and I want to see the action through that. The main character, right?
Yeah, it's Donnie Yen.
Yeah. So I like it. I like how he moves and shows that emotion. You believe it. You see it and you believe it. Kind of. He has 10 people around. He's gonna take them down. It's a confidence.
That's interesting.
Very good.
Yeah, Donnie Yen is also one of the old school actors who does like to have a impact on their stunt performers.
All right.
Yeah, so like Jean-Claude Van Damme, I don't know, is it because he likes that way, or he cannot really control his kicks anymore? You know, he's quite old.
Or goes in contact.
But they like to actually have contact, which is it's quite unfortunate, because if a stuntman is good, they know how to sell the punch, and it doesn't have to be like a hard hit.
They're probably old school.
And old school, like, and I think these old school action actors, they believe that in order to sell it, I need to fucking probably kick someone.
It looks
the one story I know about Jean-Claude was that when I did now the Witcher season 4. So instead of Henry Cavill playing the main guy, there's Liam, what's his name? The Hemsworth, the Chris Hemsworth's brother. So the Chris Hemsworth, the one who plays the Thor. Yeah. So his brother. And then there was one interview where, so when they were in Expendables 3, I think. So Liam Hemsworth was playing character where he basically gets stabbed with a knife, and then Jean-Claude kicks it in with whatever was
Let's
kick.
make it deeper.
Tornado, whatever kick was it. And he went full on, like, and he said, like, "Fuck, that hurt." Well, he said that in an interview, so I'm just quoting, so it's not really
okay.
And the last one was The Last Samurai with Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, I like it. Yeah, that old cultural thing. It's just deep, and you can see how the personality changes through that movie, right? So
how he was this blah whatever
the experience leader and doing stuff and knows about the war and people
and how much he
lost because he's like he's drinking a lot now. You know, the life is messed up and. Just hates the life, actually.
And then he found life because of those people who took him in.
Exactly. And what he was thinking about them prior to that, and how everything changed.
Yeah.
And during that, he changed. And damn, it's so tough and interesting.
And he looks so sexy with those long hair.
Always.
That's what I was paying attention to. But actually, with the Tom Cruise, so I had opportunity to work with him on one of the Mission Impossibles.
Is there a movie you haven't been into or worked with the people I'm talking about?
I'm just everywhere.
Yeah.
But he's definitely very like professional. He gets on set, everyone shuts up and work hard, and hands down, he's doing his thing. But to be honest, like one of my favorite films with him, which I rewatched kind of couple times, is that film where he basically relives every day, the same day again and again and again.
Yeah, I know that.
And fights
movie
those
too.
robots.
Yeah,
and
that's
stuff.
more like science fiction.
Sci-fi, yeah, sci-fi. But it was honestly, it was hilarious because every day he wakes up like, fuck, I need to prove them again. Like, and then he learns from all these things. It's like a
Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day. Yeah,
that's also
Groundhog Day. The guy who learns piano and all that shit. Listen, we smashed 3 hours. Like we just did
serious?
1 more hour. Yeah.
Damn.
How about this? The last thing before we end this, I usually ask my guests. I call it the bomb of wisdom. Bomb of wisdom. So bomb of wisdom is. What would you say to younger version of yourself? Like if you would meet him on the street or whatever, and you like, little Uldis, listen, I want to give you this advice.
Very good question. Very tough actually, because today I believe we need a shit to get the polarity to improve, to eat some big part of the hard stuff, right? So the salt, to have a sweetness. But I would say study more, listen to people that showing a good results, and learn about the human organism in a depth. So when I was thinking I know much, I knew very little. So I was studying not the way I should. So I would say to find the people with the practical experience and follow them, listen to them, not take everything 100%, study, practice, learn. Yeah, that would be my.
I love that, but I would add live your life as well.
Oh, for sure. That's the way it is.
You see, like I also when I think about what I would say to younger version of me, I do come back like read more books, do this, this, but the biggest one I think is the balance, the understanding of balance. Understand you play, you learn, you study, you know. Yeah. So and that's why I would suggest I would love to suggest you this book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. If you never heard of it. So I'm guessing you read a couple self-development books, and that one, it was the one the very first one. The very first one was actually Paulo Coelho with the Alchemist, which was like the first. But this one was which was like a proper massive punch to my, because basically this book is all about these 7 habits is like 7 commandments. Like if you're in church, right? Yeah, so that's how you should live your life and stuff. And first one is literally. You always have 2 choices in your life about anything. You can be proactive or reactive, right? And so I love that. And I've used it so many times. Someone just cut you in a traffic. You definitely have 2 choices. Whether you can say "fuck you, motherfucker," you fuck hate you, or you can that guy probably has a tough day.
100%.
And just move on, you know. So in that book is definitely check it out. And it's about there's a certain part where it's about all the balance of the 4 pillars. The knowledge, so it's like studying, working, training, and having your soul and all that. So it's in that balance. So
super grateful,
super duper, bro.
Yeah,
this was so cool, man.
Yeah,
cool. Tomorrow you're flying back to Norway.
Tomorrow, long flight. Heading back, seeing my children, and going back in business. Yeah.
Nice,
that's the
man.
Thing. Yeah, love
it. So I'm thinking about going eat some meat right now.
All right.
There's an amazing place called Meat Emporium. It's a sick steak.
Yeah. Oh, damn.
Dude.
Yesterday was also huge.
Oh, yeah, but that was a crazy chicken. We were waiting for it.
Yeah.
Anyways, we were finishing
Renars, can I say something?
Oh, you want to say something?
Yeah, I want to say. I'm very grateful. Thank you for having me. It's amazing, a good experience, a very interesting conversation. That's why probably 3 hours. So always a pleasure to see and listen. And I really admire your work. So you are impressive. So keep going this way. And we will make something more. So you're welcome to Norway, visit me. And we're gonna do some good shit, right?
And we need to write our books, bro.
Really, that's agreement now. So
wait a minute, then we have to have agreement that if I publish my book first, then you do something. And if you publish your second book first,
we can play
then
the
I
game.
do something. Shit.
Oh, damn.
Dude, I'm really happy that you're here, and it's the timing. It was just perfect. Yeah. And I was like,
probably it was so natural. Yeah. So
It's so good.
Spontaneous and awesome.
And I can say exactly the same right back at you. Like what you do is amazing. I'm so happy that people find, their calling, and you obviously have, and you have your own family, with you doing it, and it's just crazy and just keep inspiring people.
Thank you. Super awesome.
duper.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
I love it. Love you.
Okay. Love you too, buddy. Show me your dance moves.
Oh yeah. Keep on moving.
By the way, his high five feels like someone is attacking me. Very hard.
Come on.
Okay, that's it. We're done. Woo!
Blah, blah, blah. Renars Podcast.